the water cooler, you be on the benches. Think your team better, but they lack skill. First snap, I leave your backs in the backfield. Your quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sent the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog a hole, no letting up. Taking on them big blocks. On fourth down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. Call the special teams, come punt the ball, and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Learjet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, win. We just came to win. Win. We must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down their throat soon as we get the ball. Come out and fire off the ball. We going on one. My skill position so proficient. Break for long runs. Come out running that option. That mean I got the option to keep that or pitch that. Defense they gotta fix that. Four receivers we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads I got some. My tight end so awesome. Touchdowns I toss some. We score 6, scoreboard that score 6. Respect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw picks. I feed my linemen pancakes, so all they blocks are pancakes. Push you around like all night. End of the game, get your handshakes, huh? My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, we must protect this house.
Good morning, Campers Inn of Kings Mountain, Saturday Sports Talk. Campers Inn and RV of Kings Mountain, Saturday Sports Talk, out there right off the 85 exit behind the McDonald's. Get out there today and every day. Check them out and get you an RV and go camping this winter, fall. It's getting cold out there. Make sure you get the heaters and everything else they sell too, all the accessories for that. Stay warm. Also, breakfast this morning by Mitchum's Kitchen of Vale. And Terry, what you guys eating on this morning?
I have a gravy biscuit with a side piece of liver mush.
Side piece of liver mush.
That's
Hunter,
right.
Hunter Yancey.
Just the egg and cheese.
Just the egg and cheese. I as well. Folks, if you're watching on YouTube, we got another blank screen in the corner over here. He said, he just texted me, Hunter. He said, don't put the picture in the corner. He thought it was funny, but he texted me the other day. We looked at it and he texted me just now and said, don't put him in the corner. But I mean, it's 10 minutes after. It's about time to put baby in the corner, isn't it, Terry?
Does him and JP like call each other?
Do.
In the morning.
JP got home 2 days ago and couldn't make it today.
Well, it's kind of tough.
Jet lag's tough on the boy.
It is. When you come that far way back, he's got to get the rest back in from the long ride, 18 hours or something.
Yeah, I took a 6-hour flight to London and a 7-hour back, or one way or the other, which way. I think it's 2 because the Earth's turning that way, right? But either way, whichever way the Earth's turning, one way 7 hours in the jet streams and everything, one way 6, and that was awful. Just being sitting next to so many people so tight, you can't really move for 6 hours. And I think I watched 3 movies, Terry, and we still had another hour and a half to go.
Yeah, think of that, man. Can you imagine they losing a whole hour just from being in a plane?
Well, the first thing I thought, hey man, this is gonna be a breeze. We're gonna sit here and watch a couple movies. We'll be good. And after the second one, I'm like, oh, we're almost there. Oh gosh, okay, I can get through one more. And after the third one's over, yeah, you got another hour. I'm like, oh my god.
But you can gain it. You could leave here at 10 o'clock and go to California and arrive there at 10 o'clock in the morning. Also,
is that not considered time travel?
And it still be the same time.
Like you could leave if you leave Los Angeles and fly to Australia. I mean, it's the day before, so you flew into the future by flying backwards, Terry.
Wow, we all need to do that this coming week. Yes, that's what we need to do.
Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday Sports Talk, Campers In. We've got all kinds of things to talk about today. We've got high school football playoffs. We've got NASCAR Championship Sunday on KTC, broadcasting down to 4 drivers. We've got Kyle Busch, Hunter's favorite driver. Joey Logano, Hunter's second favorite driver. Martin Truex, he's on my bad list right now. And Kevin Harvick. Picking between these 4 for me right now. Not too. It's tough. I'm down to 2. I know the 2 I won't be pulling for will be the Bushes and the Truexes. The other 2 I'm still on the fence about right now. But anyway.
Has it not come out the way it should be, though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 3 of your best drivers, and then Joey Logano's your other one. I mean, that's how it should have come out.
I was about to say, Jimmy Johnson should be in there, but you know how that went this year. He's got a new sponsor, Ally Bank. Today's this weekend will be his last Lowe's race, folks. For something, for you casual fans, check it out. And hey, they might win. You never know today. Down in Homestead, there'll be Lowe's last race, doing some throwback stuff. Jimmy actually shaved his beard trying to look younger today, so you guys are going to see a cleaned up Jimmy on Sunday in the old Lowe's stuff. So good luck to them. Hope the 7-time pull off a win. They haven't won this year, and that's just weird to even say. And but we talked about it all year, Terry. That looking at the Chevys and all that, how that's worked out for them, and it's just not been good for Chevrolet at all this year, all around the board, not just Hendricks, right?
Well, you look at the whole set that we've done. We're at 35 races in. What is it? Truex, I think Kevin Harvick's got 8 wins. Kyle Busch got 7 wins. I can't remember how many Truex has got. But what a year, and Logano has really looked good towards the end. So when I sit back and I think about how NASCAR has happened, hey, we're going to come up to tomorrow. Your 3 best drivers in there, and then you got that little mulligan sitting over to the side of Logano, who could steal all of the thunder if he would win it.
That's true. All right, now we'll have coverage of that. Pull up my magic schedule here. Got to get rid of last night's schedule. That's not helping us anymore, is it? We'll have coverage of the Ford EcoBoost 400 tomorrow, beginning on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, folks. Kick your feet up, listen to the race. 1:30 p.m. coverage begins tomorrow. NASCAR racing on KTC broadcasting. Who do you guys got to win the championship this Sunday in Homestead?
Well,
do y'all have a favorite or not? My thing is, quick question, and this is probably a stupid question, Terry, off the top of your head. Is it just winner take all today or Sunday, or is it points? I know winner will win it, but is it points?
That's a
points
good
weighted?
question.
I can't remember. I thought it was, and you know how NASCAR makes changes on you. I'm worried about whether or not they made any changes on that or not. I can't remember.
Hunter, Carson, do y'all know? I think you
don't.
Go into the last one. And I think whoever finishes out front, I might be wrong.
What was it? Last year, wasn't it just it came down to whoever won the final race? Because it's just down to those 4
I'm
now.
so sorry. I should know that, and I blew it.
Because last year it was down between Kyle Busch and Martin Truex, and it was literally they were 1 and 2, and then Truex just happened to pull out. He had the fastest car all year last year, and it just came down to whichever one won that race. I guess I don't know if it was necessarily because they were that close in points. Or if they were just racing because, the winner obviously I guess it is points related because think about it. There's no guarantee either 4 of these drivers are going to even win the race.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So I guess it is just whoever finishes higher.
So real quick, though, Terry, we've talked about this in the past and over the years, and one of the main problems that we've had with the new NASCAR format is I don't like the elimination part of it to get to these final drivers. That's one thing. And then they went and messed up and added 4 drivers to the final race, and I don't think that's fair. I do think if you are gonna weed it out or whatever, if it's not fair to whatever the championship do you go and really and say, hey, 4 people can win the championship. The other, I think racing is like that in any across the board, horse racing, 100-meter dash, and everything else. But then again, you've went 35 races through all this. If you're eliminating people, now you get down to 4 races. The smallest thing can cause you not to have a good race, and then to have 4 people instead of 2. That could win the championship. It makes it where you do have to almost win the race. That's why that's what they're trying to do. Because out of 4 people, someone's going to get close of a champion usually. But the thing is that I've like for someone that's way out in front, maybe one of these past years where a Johnson or Earnhardt was way out in front. It probably isn't fair. It wouldn't be fair to them to get to the final, the championship game basically, and you got to face 3 other people. Terry, how you feel about that?
Well,
more than 2 in the championship game.
I like it. That's just me. I like it with 4 people having a chance. If you went the other way, then I guess you would end up saying, okay, it's only between Harvick and Kyle Busch. Because those have the most wins, 8 and 7. Then what if
not
Kyle
wins?
Busch,
I don't know what the point situation. I didn't pull it.
I mean, if Kyle Busch would win, then they'd finish with 8 wins apiece. I mean, so I think you got to come down to something.
Well, and that's not what they do. Whatever.
Oh, I know.
Today,
Whoever
best finish, it'd be
front.
you could do best finish. I'm just saying, it's just weird in a sport, where, it's almost like a wrestling match where all of a sudden the 2 best, the wrestler. Hey, come to watch 2 championships, and then Stone Cold comes out of the crowd, declares himself in the match, beats the other 2, takes the belt, and we're like, what happened? Huh?
Well, it could be like horse racing. When you get in that, you got 15 horses out there, and they always saying this is the bad dog right here. He should win it, but all these other 14 are after him, so they're gonna take it from him, and they get the crown.
All right, y'all got y'all's picks before we take our first break here
for NASCAR.
Yeah, the championship Sunday.
Kyle Busch.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. The only thing that bothers me with him, and I'm pulling for him, but I do know if it comes down to end of race, if there's a chance that man's coming through, I don't care. He's going to move somebody out of his way. And here's what I want to happen, and this is my scenario to end this race. I want Martin Truex and Logano to be behind Kyle Busch and fighting for second or something like that, and Martin Truex takes Logano out to get him back. That's what I want.
All right, let me handicap it real quick for you folks. You got Busch, like you said, he's not afraid to wreck anybody to win this. Logano really isn't either. But a lot of people don't like that, but they do like Kyle. Some do like Kyle. A lot of people hate him. Truex, I didn't know that he would the way he acted with the Johnson incident just kind of rubbed me really the wrong way. With Johnson trying to win the race, it's the first race at this place. You have no idea what's going on. And the guy hadn't tried to win the race, and he didn't mean to back into him. Yeah, he got a little crazy with it. If he got mad at him on the first initial contact, and he actually wrecked Truex then, maybe. But Truex wasn't wrecked when he hit him. He was spinning around in circles. They've never been on this track before. You don't know where you're going. So I thought that was a little silly for him to act that way, especially someone who's in the championship and has got races to go. So, and then you've got Harvick without his crew chief this week. But he's got Tony Gibson back on the stand, Terry.
He was a cheater. There we go.
So you can say what you want about that situation. So that's the handicap field. My dream situation, what you guys Hunter and them's talking about. I've got Jimmy wrecking all 4 of them on the final couple of laps, winning the race and going home. So bye guys. So there you go. Carson, you got a pick?
Anybody not named Kyle Busch.
Okay, there's so Carson's against you 2 on that one. All right, real quick, let's
go home, Carson.
All right, quick, let's give the scores, and then we'll Terry, real quick before I give the scores, one more comment on NASCAR. How about Truex losing sponsorships and Jimmy Johnson losing sponsorships these past 2 years?
Well,
the champion and the champion.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. If NASCAR does not do something, I mean, a lot of people are getting tired of watching races that one guy leads the whole race. I mean, back in the old days, everybody used to battle. That's like watching Daytona, Talladega. We're now in the middle of the race. They're all running in behind each other. And I know NASCAR keeps trying to do things to change stuff, but you're losing people. You're losing sponsors. You're losing drivers. I mean, we used to have 43 cars, or people would not even make the race. And now we're down to where some races you only had 36.
You really don't have 30 competitive, and that's the cutoff to make the playoff line.
So I mean, they got to do something. They got to do something.
I've been saying for a couple of years, once you started, when Hendricks and them got up to 4 car owners, once you got past 2 and 3, it started to be unfair to the other drivers and the other people that could show up and would show up on the different weekends. I thought, because And then think about it. If you're why are you spending? And then the other weird thing is, we're not going any faster than we ever have.
No.
We're spending all this extra money, all this money. You don't have to put all that money into it. So there's someone someplace making way more money in the sport than they should. So I think they do got to restructure something, maybe figure out how to redo the sponsors to where maybe lesser teams, and then you could do more sponsors across the board type things. I'm not sure exactly how to work the money out on that, but I think they've got to get away from that individual based sponsorship, because when you do put the millions and millions of R&D, and you got individual sponsorship, it does restrict exactly who can sponsor you and who would want to sponsor you. So they've got some things to work out. I think they can figure it out. You just got to get the right person in. With today's technology, before even today's technology, NASCAR was the most intuitive broadcast you could watch. You watch a basketball game or something, you might not even like the commentator. The commentator may have not even played in the NBA or somewhere else. There's certain things you don't know. You watch a NASCAR race, you learn everything about the cars, everything about the track, everything about the drivers, and it's really, really informative for folks that don't watch one. I highly recommend it Sunday at Homestead. And if you are out and about, listen on WCSL. All right, let's give the scores from last night. We got to take a break. Go ahead, Carson. You ain't done nothing all day.
You can read them all.
Scores, read them all.
Read them all.
That's what you've been put in charge of.
All right, we're going to start on the far board. We're going to start with Charlotte Catholic, no problem with Moorhead, 42-7. Terry, you picked this one right. Monroe 43, Freedom 20. Watauga, no problem with Ashbrook 49-0. Terry, you got this one wrong though. Parkland 32, Ashbrook 19, and Wheatmore 24, Patton 0. Then on the next board, Ashe County 49, Salisbury 14. Bandy's 28-14 over Franklin. West Stokes 36, Fred T. Ford 27. Terry, that was not quite 90-0, but I'm sure you'll still take that one. South Point, really no problem with Mount Pleasant 28-7. High Brighton, no problem with East Henderson 63-0. Statesville, a squeaker over East Rowan 7-6. Bessemer City 44, Highland Tech 8, and it wasn't even that close that last night. Polk County 33, East Wilkes 16. Swain County 13, Mountain Island Charter 6. Terry, that one surprised me when I was keeping up with it.
I'd like to know how many yards Elijah Burris had. Yeah, and we'll figure that out here.
I wish we had time of possession stats because that score. Swain County had to hold the ball an awful lot.
Oh, they did.
Another one that was sort of surprising, and I was keeping up with this one. At one point, it was 3-3. East Rutherford 17, Maiden 10. So the Blue Devils defense keeping one of the most potent offenses in check, but still not able to come out on top. Reedsville 49, Charles D. Owen 13. The big upset, East Lincoln 13, Pisgah 10. And Terry, we sort of thought this might happen, and the number one ranked team out of apparently the toughest conference in America falls.
They say,
yeah, you're exactly right.
4 out of 6 teams in that conference fell last night. So
it was due. They were either going to go 4-2 or 2-4, and they went 2-4. Kings Mountain 34, West Rowan 0, Crest 41. Stuart Kramer 14, Hunter Huss 45, Burns 6, Shelby 27, West Lincoln 8, North Lincoln a big win 42-6 over Smoky Mountain, and Community School of Davidson a good one back and forth game, but they come out on top over Cherryville 28-21.
All right, guys, we'll be back in a few minutes. KDCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Gold with Terry Clark, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
Once upon a time is right now. Escape to the Renaissance Festival, a time-traveling adventure. Huzzah! Saturdays and Sundays, September 29th through November 18th. Presented by Pepsi. Endless entertainments.
Jousting night. Men in tights. Oh my.
New sea fairies. The Living Mermaids. Magic and merriment.
Come to the Renaissance Festival.
Saturdays and Sundays, September 29th through November 18th. There's music, comedy, circus entertainments, a giant crafts market, jousting nights, and a feast all rolled into a non-stop great family adventure.
The festival is so awesome.
Discount tickets at Hedis Teeter stores or print your own online at renfestinfo.com. Renaissance Festival, here I come.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 8th through 18th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Join us to celebrate a fashionable Christmas with Manhattan-inspired holiday window displays and shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets online and save at southernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
It's Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through November 22nd at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Dwight has gone turkey crazy. Buy a new Honda, get a free turkey. Buy a new Kia, get a free turkey. Buy a new GMC, get a free turkey. Buy a new Buick, get a free turkey. Buy a pre-owned vehicle and get a free turkey. All during Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through 22nd at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. And Happy Thanksgiving from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby.
All eyes at the front of the field.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs.
At the moment, Kevin Harvick not a factor.
Race 10.
Does Kyle Busch have one more run left in him?
And the championship will be decided.
Here comes Joey Logano trying to make it 3 wide.
The Ford EcoBoost 400.
The best team all year long can now celebrate a championship.
Sunday at 1:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Ford EcoBoost 400 this Sunday afternoon at 1:30 on Carolina Country WCSL. Online at KDCBroadcasting.com. It's Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through November 22nd at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Dwight has gone turkey crazy. Buy a new Honda, get a free turkey. Buy a new Kia, get a free turkey. Buy a new GMC, get a free turkey. Buy a new Buick, get a free turkey. Buy a pre-owned vehicle and get a free turkey. All during Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through 22nd at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. And Happy Thanksgiving from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby.
And good morning. Welcome back to Campers Inn RV of Kings Mountain Saturday Sports Talk. Kevin Hastings along with Carson Dockery, Terry Reinhardt, and Hunter Yancey. If you're watching along on YouTube, I'm going to be joining the video in just a second. I was waiting on an important phone call, and I might have one. All right, guys, let's go back over the scores real quick for our fans, and we'll get into the brackets in just a moment after this call. But real quick, scores from Carson. You can get some help this time. Oh, how about that?
I'll start on the far board again.
I guess you can.
Charlotte Catholic 42, Moorhead 7. Monroe with an upset over Freedom 43-20. Watauga no problem with Ashbrook 49-0. Parkland 32, Ashbrook 19, and Wheatmore 24, Patton 0.
We got Ashe County 49, Salisbury 14, Bandy's 28, Franklin 14, West Stokes 36, Fred T. Ford 27, Mount Pleasant falls to South Point 28-7, High Brighton 63, East Henderson a big fat 0, and Statesville with the squeaker against East Rowan 7-6.
And Bessemer City defeats Highland Tech 44-8. Bessemer City goes to 19-0 all time against Highland Tech. It was Polk County 33, East Wilkes 16, Swain County 13, Mountain Island Charter 6, East Rutherford 17, Maiden 10, Reidsville 49, Owen 13, and the big win of the night, East Lincoln defeats Pisgah 13-10, the number 1 team in 2AA falls out of the Mountain 6 2A conference.
The best one in America, apparently, Terry. Isn't
Yes.
that right? All right, East Lincoln, they'll play North Lincoln next week as the Knights won 42-6 over Smoky Mountain. Community School of Davidson with a late score to win 28-21 over Cherryville. Shelby, really no problem with West Lincoln 27-8. Crest, really no problem with Stuart Kramer 41-14. Kings Mountain, no problem with West Rowan 34-0. And Hunter Huss They did all right against Burns.
Let me tell you something. Kevin texted me the scores while I was commentating the Kings Mountain game, and the first score was 6-0 Burns over Huss, and I said, "There's a chance." And then all of a sudden, the next score I got
For
was
about
like, it was
5
like 20.
minutes.
It was like 20-something to 6. Hunter Huss over Burns. I was like, A for effort.
Yeah, that's exactly
A for
right.
effort.
Well, yeah, it started off good.
They scored this time.
Well, it was 17-6 at halftime, so
They scored this time.
it wasn't that bad. All right, we got head coach Cherryville Ironman on the phone, Tim Pruitt. They fought last night against Community School of Davison. Both times they've played Community School have been close this year, hard-fought games, and but Cherryville Ironman a historic season for the Ironman, 7-win season. And Terry Hunter, there's a stat in there that says how many right there somewhere that says how many years they've done that, and Terry's got all that too. But we want to welcome Coach Tim Pruitt to the broadcast. Good morning, Coach, and we're probably guessing you wish you were on the winning side, but it was a hard-fought game last night on WCSL. Coach Pruitt, are you there yet?
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. We're ready for you now. Coach Pruitt, you got us? He may have dropped. I hear him. Coach Pruitt, you got us? Coach Pruitt. Maybe not. I'm going to turn him down a sec. Coach Pruitt, whenever you want to join us there. Real quick, Terry, go. You there? Tim? What if he dropped his phone? All right. Well, we'll get back to him in just a minute. All right. Guys, hold on.
I do want to mention one thing,
Go ahead, Terry.
is until Coach Pruitt comes back with us. But last night there were 93 games played, and we complained yesterday about Max Preps didn't know what they were doing. Well, there's only 17 games that were won by under team over a higher team. So there you go. 17 out of 93. So, and we talk about Max Preps didn't know what they were doing. Well, I guess somehow they must have. They got a lot right.
Would you imagine that?
Yeah.
The people that put this thing together, they kind of knew what they were talking about.
Well, at least the only thing, it's a year over year. They'll probably fix one thing at a time. At least they fixed the fact, last year we had McDowell, who was 2 wins and hosted a home playoff game, had a bye too. At least they figured that out. If you're a conference champion with a sub 500 record, you won't get seeded like a conference champion.
Yeah, and
so
that's how it should be.
that's one thing at a time that they're going to slowly figure out. These are guys. Max Preps is based out of California, so this is something where it'll take a little time. There'll be some guys like Terry who get mad at everything they do for the first couple of years, but that's okay. It's just because they're not here. They don't see the teams. They base a lot of what they know and how they see things off numbers. Yeah.
Analytics.
And then we talked about Burlington Cummins, who finished second behind Reedsville. Guess what, folks? They made me look kind of dumb yesterday, too, as they won their game 35-34 over St. Paul's. Cummins was 4-7, Paul's 8-3, and Cummins comes out on top. So, there we go.
So, what that sounded like to me? It sounded like a Skip Bayless.
Oh, let's not even. Let's not put Terry in the category.
It sounded like it. You can't tell me he's not as hard-headed though.
I can hear
Think about it.
music.
Is that Coach Pruitt?
Sounds like it.
Go ahead, y'all.
Somebody playing
Hello?
music.
I hear music. Coach Pruitt, can you hear us?
Kevin?
Yeah.
I can hear music. Can't hear y'all.
I've got to cross up on something when Coach Pruitt can't hear this. I'll call him back real quick. All right, guys, keep on going.
Where was I?
Yeah.
You were busy calling Terry Skip Bayless, and I was trying to defend this poor man's honor.
Look, no, hey, hold on now. Wait a minute.
But
Skip makes a lot of money. Now
that's all he makes.
I know, but I'll say this: that could be who the Skip of the show is.
Yeah.
Oh no!
The Skip of the show is Terry.
But no,
I've got a Skip Bayless book on the back of our guest toilet seat. By the way.
Yeah, because in case of emergencies.
Well, wait, is it the one he wrote about the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, whatever. But anyway,
not even the Dallas Cowboys. He was in Dallas for what 20, 30 years. Troy Aikman. You remember when he went from ESPN to Fox Sports? Troy Aikman came out and was very clear about how much he didn't like hiring Skip Bayless. Well, I listened to the Sports Media podcast the other day, and he was on it talking about as long as they're on that show, I'm probably not going to come on at any point in time.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to mention people also. There's 3 games today. If anybody hadn't got anything to do, you can take the trip up to Mountain Heritage. Providence Grove plays up there today. And other games today would be Franklinton playing at Southern Lee. And there's one more game.
Find it, Terry.
Scheduled for today.
Find it, Terry.
Yeah, there it is. Winston-Salem Glen at Ragsdale. So, you know, hey, if you have never been up to Mount Heritage, you want to see a good football game down in a hole, that's a great place to go watch.
Well, flipping back from skip to high school football, I want to, I covered the Kings Mountain game last night, was there when they were playing West Rowan, and they play Statesville. We go into Statesville.
It's a great place to go.
Yeah.
Oh, please tell me you heard
that story for Hunter.
No, well, hold on. Now, Terry, you realize I live closer to Statesville than I do Kings Mountain, so this is going to be like a easier drive. So, and I used to play a bunch of games up in Statesville, so I know how crazy Statesville can be.
And now, Terry, before you tell him about your story, I think I made a pretty good analogy yesterday, Terry, did I not?
You did.
Statesville is how Gastonia could have turned out.
No, you're right. I agree 100%.
That's exactly how it could have turned out.
Exactly how it could have turned out.
Thank God it didn't.
The only thing I'm going to say is Randall Gussler is over there, and this is how I approached it yesterday. He did pick up 100 wins this year, and he was a former West Lincoln coach, and but he went back home. He's from over that way. So when he got there, we decided, and it was Lincolnton traveling over to play Statesville in one of the rounds. I can't remember which round it was, but as we're setting up right before halftime, there's a convict comes running out on the field.
A convict.
And all the cops are running after him.
Convict. This man could have been a mass murderer for all we know.
And the biggest thing about this is once he got out there, man, people are saying quit that talking. Yeah, but after they got out there, I think the principal that was a lady is the one that finally knocked him out and for everybody to grab him. But over there on the backside, if you ever at Statesville, on the backside across from there, on the visitor's side, in behind there, there's a fence that runs all the way down. Unless they put up something now since I've been there, it was always a place where everybody would walk up to. And they would always walk up to and watch the game for free. So now they started having cops patrol that area, coming back and forth to make sure nobody was watching the game for free. If you wanted to get in, you had to go around to pay to get in there to see it.
But the reason I brought that up, I loved your story, though, because that does explain Statesville. It really does.
That's
if you've never been there, people from Kings Mountain, if you've never been there, you're about to see something when we go there next week. But Kevin was texting me about this last night. He texted me the final score in that game. It was 7-6, Statesville. And he said, now remember, Statesville's the 4 seed. And I said, well, Kings Mountain's a 5 seed, and they just put 34 on the board. And they made it look easy. Now, I don't know what the skill difference is between West Rowan and East Rowan. I don't know the skill difference, but all I know is that West Rowan was ranked higher than East Rowan. And West Rowan didn't score. So all I have to say is Statesville. You might have the 4 seed, but this might be a rude awakening coming to Statesville next week to Kings Mountain. I'm not going to lie now, I was kind of hoping East Rowan was going to win just so I didn't have to go to Statesville.
So you didn't have to risk your life going up 40.
And especially, well, for me, the easiest way for me to get up there, and it's probably not as fast anymore, but it was 77.
Yeah.
And
God.
I try to avoid 70. If you were from the area, you try to avoid 77 like the plague. Especially because for me, I have to go through Mooresville.
Oh yeah.
And Mooresville traffic is awful because it's one way in, one way out, and then I gotta hit 77 where it's sit still traffic until at least 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to find a little back road to get there, or I might just leave an hour early. You never know. I mean, you never know. But with that, in all seriousness, last night Kings Mountain. I said at halftime last night when they were playing West Rowan that the game, it was 20-0 at halftime, but the game was closer than the score showed because West Rowan, that running back there, has already had 119 yards at halftime. He was running all over Kings Mountain. And then when Kings Mountain came out in the second half, they shut that down.
So West Rowan pretty much was good in between the 20s.
Oh, yeah, good in between the 20s. What they did is, I put this analogy, and Jason kind of laughed, but I was truthful about it because West Rowan would get within the red zone, and shooting themselves in the foot so many times they were running out of toes. Seriously, they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. They ran out of toes. It seems like there was one time they were on the 15, and the poor quarterback, he threw it in double coverage, and it was intercepted on the goal line and taken 85 yards. And it was just an easy setup score.
Well, I'm gonna give you.
I don't know how, but you need to somehow get an email contact Braun Strowman, and he needs to use that somehow in his promos. Shooting yourself in the foot so many times you ain't got no more toes.
What, Strowman?
That's so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna see him do a WWE promo somehow wrapped around that.
I tell him, I say, I'm a fellow alumni. We went to the same high school. You're just a little bit older than me.
You ever heard that before, Terry?
Yeah.
Terry, you ever heard that one before?
What's that?
What he just said about them toes.
No, that's pretty good. I'll give him credit.
They shot themselves.
You've heard some country things in your life, hadn't you?
He does. Yeah, no, he works in Vail, so he's heard just about all.
I'm telling you, they did. They shot themselves so many times in the foot, they ran out of toes. Yeah. They did. And it was again another, it's the old analogy of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. That's what they would do. They would get the big run. The guy was, the running back for them last night, Perry, finished with 168 yards on 16 carries.
That's
so he was
bad.
averaging just over 10 yards a carry.
And they never scored.
They would get down there, and what it was he would get that big gain, holding. Yeah. They would just bring it right back. I felt bad for West Rowan. Of course, I knew what Kings Mountain was going to do because I know how explosive that offense can be. Yeah. I've seen them be behind before and put up 63 at the end of the night. So this was kind of tame against the West Rowan, who didn't put up a point. But Kings Mountain going to Statesville. If you can only score 7 points, this is going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I can't really imagine. I mean, Kings Mountain's probably got to be one of the toughest 5 seeds in the whole state
if
playoffs.
If not the toughest 5 seed.
If not, yeah.
Because what really impresses me is just how, a lot of teams, they're one side heavy. They can either really throw the ball or they can really run the ball. Well, Kings Mountain could do both.
How did Mac do last night? We talked about him sort of.
Mac, he had 83. He had like 83, 84 yards, but he had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, he was the one I picked for the player to watch at the beginning of the game because it's easy to say Kalen Wade.
Or
he's a quarterback,
Kobe Pacehour.
Pacehour was only targeted, I think, twice. One of them was for a corner touchdown, but he had such great inside positioning on the cornerback, he basically just was standing there flat-footed and called it. And seriously, he just had that great a position on the cornerback. But what's so crazy to me is how you said Kobe Pacehour, how good he is and how much more room he has to grow as well.
I mean, he's only a sophomore. We've got 2 more years of this. I mean, as long as he's got a quarterback that can throw a semi-decent ball going forward, I have to imagine he'll.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
he's not even thinking about it. I mean, he's a pretty decent-sized boy. He doesn't even have his man body yet.
No. I mean, he's.
Now,
I mean,
my deal with Mac is he back healthy. Totally healthy?
Yeah, he's totally healthy. Of course, he doesn't have the breakaway speed because he's
never been there.
He is a big guy. If you want to, they're running around out there in black and gold. If you want to compare him to anybody, of course, this is just a size comparison. It'd be like a Jerome Bettis.
Yeah,
that's what he's just a big
Marshawn
bruiser.
Lynch.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch, a big bruiser in the backfield for Kings Mountain. That's exactly what he is. So, like I said, he only had 84 yards, but he had 3 touchdowns. But that's because they didn't run him as much in the beginning. But when they realized they had the 20-0 lead in the second half, you just want to run the clock out. They ran the same power run play to the right-hand side one drive 6 times in a row for a touchdown.
Oh, man.
6 times in a row for a touchdown. You would have thought West Rowan would say, hey, we might need to load up this side over here.
Hey, man.
It really happened.
If it's not broke.
That's what I said. Don't fit. If it ain't broke, don't get away from it.
Less yards and the touchdowns still count.
I know he had less yards than the Perry kid by a lot. Perry kid had 168 yards. I mean, he had his way with him. And what's so funny is the Perry kid, I think and we were saying this as well, I think he just got lost behind the trenches because he's only 5'6".
Yeah.
He's a short.
I mean, that's literally a lot of the time. I mean, think about Darren Sproles. Think about how hard it is to tackle him because you can't see him.
You can't see him.
You can only see him once he gets outside the tackles.
Yeah.
And even then, good luck.
You got that right, because when they said he was ineligible to play against Dallas, I said, thank goodness.
Yeah, I bet you. Yeah, that was.
But that's a little bit on what I was thinking for Kings Mountain going into next week against Statesville, because I just looked. I said Statesville only put 7 points up. Kings Mountain just beat a team that wasn't even able to score.
Yeah,
you
won by a point against someone who is ranked lower than West Rowan.
East Rowan's pretty stout. We mentioned that yesterday. I mean, I knew it was going to be a tough game. But
so is East Rowan, you would say, worse than West Rowan? Because if that's the case, then Kings Mountain probably would have hung 50 on East Rowan. See, that's just how you have to look at it. Seeding-wise, we talk seeding-wise, the 12 seed is usually better than the 13 seed, you would think. And East Rowan and West Rowan, I'm going to kind of guess, maybe probably in the same conference. I don't know. That's just me throwing a bone there. Both Rowan teams. I don't know. Like I said, of course, I wasn't there to see it. But if you only can put 7 points on the board as a 4 seed, and the 5 seed hangs 34.
Well, now, you know, they've had a couple weeks to prepare for this. So
yeah, I mean,
now it comes down to a week.
Yeah, it does. Now it does come down to a week. I don't know, and I'm not trying to be Kings Mountain biased. Of course, I'm not from the area. I just cover them. But just what I've seen, that's a tough 5 seed.
Yeah,
that's a tough 5 seed. But let's look up there again.
Well, I want to mention one more thing. Most of the teams that won on September the 28th, 2018.
There it is, Terry.
Won again last night.
So yeah, just about all the same results. Yeah.
Well, we can say that. I'm just looking up there at the scores as well while Kevin is in there working his magic, trying to get the magical phone to work. You know, it's a hard concept. But
what about Bessemer City? I mean, you just at that game. Was that being pretty much under control?
That was a game. Yeah, I mean, you know, like you mentioned, Terry. I mean, they went into this one 18-0 against Highland all time. Jarkevius Love and Keontae Degree were both out for the first quarter because they missed a practice earlier this week. But I mean, as soon as Jarkevius Love came into the game, he made all the difference in the world. He had a 38-yard touchdown run, a 41-yard interception return, and then a 50-yard touchdown run. He had 230 all-purpose yards, 189 yards on the ground, and the 41-yard interception return. I mean, you know, you can only really take so much from a game like that, Terry, a team that you've always dominated. You know, earlier this season it was 24-12 in their first matchup. They've only had one game where it's even been a single-digit margin. So I don't really know how much you can take from this game. At one point, Jaqueline Harden-Pep, their quarterback, he got hurt, and honestly, it was only 24-8, and I was like, don't even worry about putting him back in there. I mean, he comes back in and he plays fine, but he ended up, I believe somebody rolled up on his ankle at one point, and that's when you've got a small guy who, I mean, he is as electrifying as anybody in this area. Like, I mean, people, you know, obviously Bessemer City isn't as good as they've been in the past few years, but they're still a solid team. They beat Mountain Island Charter this year, get to 7 wins again. And Pep Harden he's 5'5". He's probably listed as 5'7". He's listed as 180. He's probably $160 soaking wet. I mean, this is a kid who, if you see him play, he's a lot like Kewan Pryor for Burns. I mean, he is fast. He will leave you, but at the same time, he'll make you miss. No problem. They're going to go to East Surrey next week. I don't really know that much about them. But Bessemer City, it's one of those things where if you catch them on a good week, they're very tough to beat. Just because that triple option, the way they play it, it's either going to go to Pep or it's either going to go to Jarkevius Love. They've got other guys that'll spell, that'll get maybe 4 or 5 carries in the game. But those are going to be your two, you know, the two guys that are going to carry the burden is Love and Harden. Really, Terry, the thing that interests me going forward is another rematch next week is Huss and Crest. Yes. I mean, they have 2 similar scores this week. Huss 45, Burns 6, and Crest 41, Kramer 14. 14-0 in their earlier matchup, and that was really 7-0, and then Crest makes a mistake.
They made that one fumble that was down inside the 5-yard line, and Hunter Huss scored to make it 14-0.
So I think that'll be interesting. I mean, Crest is a little bit more one-dimensional on offense than Huss. They're not going to throw it near. They've got Landon Zanders, who is a weapon on the outside, but they don't really use him that much. They like to run power. Huss, and I've said this before, Huss doesn't really have a set offense. They will play to matchups or play to the hot hand. And that's what I'm going to be interested to see is how Huss and Crest, these are, Crest is historically one of the better programs in the state. Huss is having the best season ever. This is at a certain point, Terry, we've got to say this is the best Huss team ever. They're 12 and 0, and this is something from Huss that I've never seen. I've never even heard anybody say, that I don't know. I've been around good Huss teams, but this is just its own animal.
As a fan and as a broadcaster, if they come up short, somebody beats them, will this be disappointing if they get beat this coming week? I'm going to put it like that.
I mean, if you're going to lose to somebody, no matter what, this is a good season, and yeah, it's going to, in the moment, it's going to be a disappointment. But if you lose to a team like Crest, you can only hang your head so low because that's a really good team. That's a team that's historically in probably one of the best counties historically football-wise. And Crest is a team that, that's produced multiple NFL players. Yeah, it would be a disappointment to lose, but like to say, this is something that this isn't the same Huss team. I mean, I remember when I was at Huss, we weren't great by any means, but you still, there wasn't an expectation for any kind of upset. Now, it's not an upset anymore. Every week, Huss should be picked to win just about. And that's something that I wasn't used to. I mean, my mom went there. Both of my parents went to Huss. They weren't really used to. This is, Coach McCoy, when he first got there were people that were worried about it because you had Coach Gardner who was there for a long time. And Coach Gardner, you talk to guys in the media, you talk to other coaches. Coach Gardner, he could get as much out of players as just about anybody could. And he might not be the best schemer, best game planner, and a lot of that, he was more of a defensive guy, so you can't really not line that up all against him. But, when McCoy came in, this was a guy that, he graduated from Huss, and so he was somewhat familiar. So I think in those first couple of years it was a little rocky up and down, and then something clicked. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the line changing and you getting more kids from Greer that, those 3 or 4 years where Greer was just undefeated year after year. So you're getting a little bit more talent than just Southwest and York Chester kids. But I don't know, Terry. It's just if Huss really, obviously it's all been building up to this year so far. I want to see, again, what they do against Crest in a rematch. If they can keep going, play until, well after Thanksgiving, there's just a lot of things about this season at Huss that we've never seen before. Nobody at Huss has really ever seen before, so it's going to be interesting to see how they sort of acclimate themselves to having pressure, to having expectations.
Well, as I'm looking at this bracket and people say, okay, is it the top or the bottom? And speaking of Kings Mountain, Kings Mountain is kind of lucky because they in the bottom section. Kings Mountain goes against Statesville, and then you got Tuscola against Northwest Cabarrus. A lot of people saying Northwest Cabarrus is a little bit better than what people are thinking. Well, on the upper side, you got Monroe playing Catholic, and then Hunter Huss against Crest. When I look at that, who was it? I mean, when people look at this whole bracket.
Hey, stop what you're doing. I got the phones on.
Hey.
Coach Pruitt, you there? Wait a minute, you there?
Catching me eating my breakfast. I got to get my steroids in me. I got some medication, but go ahead.
There we go. We got Coach Pruitt on the phone finally. We had some buttons that had to be, I don't even know which buttons.
Pushed.
I hit probably 25 buttons until I figured out the right.
Let me tell you something. Button pressing can be difficult.
It can be.
It can be difficult.
It can be in the end. So get all that way. Thank Coach Pruitt for hanging in there.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Not a problem.
Good morning. Tough loss last night. You guys lost again to Community School of Davidson, having to face a team twice. So with the way the playoff stuff, it's hard to not face these conference teams sometimes twice like that. But with that said, give us a little bit of synopsis about how the game went from your end last night here for Cherryville last night.
Well, I mean, obviously when your season ends and you look back on the perspective of the game, you always are looking back at what you could do different a little bit, how things evolved through the game. You know, we played them twice, of course, at our place. Both times we won the toss, took the ball. Both times the kicker kicked it in the end zone, and we drove 80 yards, took the first score down, and scored in both games, and ended up losing both games. So we had plenty of opportunities throughout the game to increase our lead, and just didn't take advantage of those opportunities is the best way to describe it. I thought our defense really played great. First half they scored one touchdown, and really the drive that they scored on, they used a formation that we had seen earlier in the year. They had used it a couple times, and they have a few 3 or 4 little plays that they like to run out of it, and we just defensively didn't adjust to it very well, and you can get lined up one time, didn't keep it inside one time. And, of course, they got athletes who, if you give them a little space, can go. So that's where we were at halftime. But we had opportunity to just execute. And, you know, when you say execute, people look at plays and they say, oh, the quarterback should have hit the receiver, or if the running back would have just hit that hole. But that also goes to every person that's blocking or doing the things that they need to do to make us successful. And we had some glaring breakdowns just from the way we did things. And part of that was also when you game plan and prepare. Since we played community school with Davidson and gained, 500 and ever how many yards in the first game, they changed their defense to a split defense, which means a 4-man front instead of an odd front. So I am, preparing for that split defense. And, of course, that's what we got the first series. Went right down the field. And then after that, they went to a 7-man front with one high safety. They changed the personnel, matched up with us a little bit, and slowed us down a little bit. But also there were still, like I said, plays to be made, and we just didn't make enough to win the football game. Big play in the game, of course, fake punt. We kept the defense on the field. That's on me. I mean, we kept the defense on the field to play the fake, and it seemed like our kids just rushed the punter. And then he threw it over our heads. We had somebody holding up the guy he threw it to, but we lost that coverage. Of course, he's a really good player, and that was a big play of the game. We personal fouled the punter as well after the throw, and that was an extra 15 yards. So a big mistake there. And like I said, when I say it's on me, we should have worked the punt safe a little bit more. Who's got number 14? Should have been the first thing that we talked about before we got to the game Friday. But, when I saw the formation and saw the personal protectors kind of turn and speak to the punter and speak to 14, I'm yelling, cover 14, as loud as I could yell. And, of course, by this time of the year, my voice is a little hoarse. I ain't got as much mustard behind it as I wish I did. But, as a coach, I've got to do a better job. We've got to do a better job of putting our kids in position to be successful. And that was just one of those situations where, you'd like to go back and change it, but we can't do that now. And what we hopefully can do is be better prepared for those situations in the future. Tough that it happened in a playoff game. But I thought our kids' effort was unbelievable last night. Appreciate the community, appreciate all the people around our football program, the administration at our school, the student body, cheerleaders, the band. It's been a great ride. Just sad that it's over. The sun did come up this morning. I may have said that before on your thing before. It was funny to see the sun out yesterday. I hadn't seen it since last Saturday, maybe. So it was neat to have dry conditions, so to speak, except for the field was a little wet. But just proud of our efforts this year, and wish we could have kept it going another week at least. So.
Well, Coach, I want to mention something. I know you're going to lose a lot of seniors. That's meant a lot to your program, but you got a lot of guys coming in for next year. I know as a coach, as a high school football coach now, your season for next year, if it don't start today, you're going to start right back on Monday thinking about next year and what you're going to have. But, congratulate a lot of your seniors on this. You might not be able to mention every one of them's name, but congratulate them this year for what they have done.
Well, you can't. I think you can do that in terms of numbers, but I'm going to give it a shot, man. Let's see if I can do it. Number 1 was Mark Gadsden. Number 2, Hunter Vaughn. Hunter had a little injury last night. He's at the injury clinic this morning. We're hoping and praying that it's not a bad knee injury. Number 3, Queth Lorene. Number 5, Jason Pitts. Those two kids, outstanding players on the offense and defensive side of the ball. Sometimes you'd like to play kids both ways. We play Quest probably both ways more than anybody on our team except for number 34, Sean Kostwick. And all those guys have had outstanding years. You know, when you talk about large numbers coming back, I think I looked at that last night, 3 on offense, 2 on defense. So we got a lot of holes to fill. And, you know, that's the reason why we kept our JV team together this year. Not many people in our conference did that, but we were able to do it, and our JVs had some success. And we're expecting that group to get started, like I said, as soon as possible. So we'll see how that works out. Number 6, Bruce Gunner. Number 7, Andrew Clark. Number 9, Hanai Florine. Hanai Jordan. Number 9, Hanai Jordan. Number 11, Connor Bradley. Number 12, Matt Kane. Number 21, Chapel Moss. Number 34, I've already mentioned Sean Kostwick. Number 35, Logan Barrett. Number 43, Luke Rayfield, another kid like early in the year when Chapel got hurt. Luke, he just didn't come off the field for us. He was our fullback and the linebacker. We moved him from linebacker to defensive end back to linebacker. Kid never complained about anything last night. When I saw him leave the field, I told him, or the stadium, I said, Luke, if my son can grow up to be like you, then I'll be a proud dad. He's just one of those kids, program kid. Number 50, Matt Vasquez. Number 52, Gabe Shoemaker. Number 57, John Crane. All those 3 kids, 2 defensive linemen, 1 offensive lineman, they propelled our team this year. And what we did and be successful, if it wasn't for our line, we would not have had the success that we had. Number 61, Tyler Green, the first-year kid who had to battle some injury issues at the end of the year. Number 75, Jace Britton. I skipped the number 65, Trevor Andrews. And then a couple kids who have been in our program, didn't get to play a lot, but definitely an important part of our program. Every kid is an important part of your program. Number 80, Caleb Mercer, and number 89, Cody Powell. I don't know if y'all ticked them off as I did, but I think I got them. And then, you know, the thing about that, when you put out jerseys and you wash jerseys and you do things through the year, as you take out the laundry and you look at it, you think about those kids. And in the past, you know, I saw one the other night. My son can still tell you he wore number 10 when he played at Cherryville. My son can tell you that Grant Henderson wore number 7 when he played at Cherryville. And they have an impact on the kids around them. So we're going to miss that group very much, Terry. I appreciate you asking that question. I hope I didn't take too much of your time with doing that.
Well, no, Coach, I think you got them all. I was looking at the roster while you went down. I was going to grade you. I think you got a 9. I'll give you 100. I give you 99.
I can't believe I said Hanai Fareed. Hanai's listening. Hanai, example, Hanai's a kid who, didn't get a lot of playing time through the year at times. And last night he was a starter. He had a pass breakup in the first part of the game, which was huge, and had a couple of other big plays. We inserted him at the end of the game, and he had a great game. He had a fumble recovery too. So Hanai, he's a kind of a soft-spoken kid that just goes about his business and did a great job. And I could say something positive about every single one of those kids. Mark Gatson came back from a shoulder injury and played. And Chapel Moss obviously came back from his leg injury and played. And I mentioned the lineman Trevor Andrews and Jace Britton would be included in that group too. So, like I said, we got a lot of people to replace, and we will get started soon. Honestly, last night when the game ended, I had thought of a lot of things about next week. But one of the things I didn't think about was, hey, what happens if we lose the game? Normally, of course, being in Cherryville, you're on the road in the first round. And you come home and the stuff's in the bags and it's easy to unpack and get equipment. Today they're having a wrestling tournament over there and there just ain't enough storage space for me to take up equipment. So I had the guys keep their stuff and we're going to take it up Monday. So, just didn't really think a whole lot about that. So, but it's a disappointment not to win a playoff game. I've been in that position before. 3 teams at West Wilkes, 2 finished 7-5 like our team did this year. 1 finished 9-3. Some tough first-round playoff games. And last night was just one of those games where, just a play here and a play there, and they made a few more plays than we did. Congratulations, Coach Albert and their team. They played obviously much better on defense in this game than they did the first game. So did we. So I think one of our local newspaper guys was talking about, can we see another shootout? And obviously at halftime it was 14-7. I didn't think that was going to be the case. And, just wish we had done a little bit more once again, I appreciate my kids' efforts. And, of course, when you talk about returners, Andrew Bean, Jaden Blanton, Dylan Harden are the three that probably stand out. But a kid like Clayton Crowe, he's going to have to step up and become big for us. He played a little bit this year. And a couple others, Sammy Clark, he did a lot of really good things throughout our season, played on special teams all the time. And those kids have to grow up. And when you become a senior, and they're a senior now. Once you get past that last game, you're now a senior. So I hope that's the philosophy they have, and that's what we'll expect out of them. We need their leadership.
Coach, real quick, and I can find this out of my own, but while I got you here, you said you was having a wrestling over there today. Is Jaden wrestling today?
No, none of our kids are wrestling. Several of our kids are visiting Good Gardner Webb today. Jaden and Sean Costick, two of our wrestlers, are visiting at Gardner Webb. Jaden.
That's a quick turnaround. I didn't know if he's going to be out there.
He's supposed to visit App State today, but he's going to go up next week.
Okay.
And, but the other thing, kids in our program, this year, other than Zeb Spear, he's my only former player, Zeb Spear, Mark Spear's son, who was a freshman quarterback from Watauga. He's the only one that's playing college football right now, except for Ben DeVinny. And I hate to say, with Landry playing tackle football, did I say Ben DeVinny? I should have said Gus DeVinny. Sorry, Gus. Sorry, Ben. But Gus DeVinny finished his collegiate career at Charleston University this year. Those are the only two that I had played. And every year I try to go see my kids play if I can. And with Landry playing tackle, I did not get to go see Gus. And Gus is a great kid who represented our school very well as a lineman, and I hopefully get to travel and see some of these boys that played for me this past season play college football in the near future, because I think there's a lot of talent with that group.
All right, Coach Pruitt, have a good weekend. Have a good off.
I appreciate it.
Have a good off year. We wish, of course, we were doing more Cherryville Lineman football. I want to congratulate you on another wonderful year. The last few years, you've been setting some records and things that has happened in Cherryville football that haven't happened before, and you make a program proud on that end. You do got a freshman on your team. I know you got. I've told you got a connection there with Jaden, but my wife, her nephew, kind of, or first cousin, I guess, is Mason Grindstaff. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but
no, I did not know that. Did not know that.
So take care of that boy. Keep him on the straight and narrow, and he'll make him hustle for you. He probably get pretty big here soon. His daddy's not small. So.
Well, yeah, he's another one of those kids that wrestle. Last night I didn't do my usual after game routine because of the disappointment, I guess. But we did with the JVs, and he, of course, was one of our JVs we brought up. But don't just be a football player.
Right.
We're a 1A school. If all of our great athletes just play one sport, all of our sports are going to suffer.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
So we recommend that our football players get out there and play some basketball, get out there and wrestle, go play golf, go play tennis, go run track, go play baseball, whatever that sport is. If we want, when I was a little kid, I wanted to compete. If it was tiddlywinks, I was competing. Mm-hmm. And if they get out and compete in things, I think it makes you a better person. Also gives you a reason to go to school. So I hope we can look forward to seeing our guys participate in those sports. And, Sean Costick been one match away from winning a state championship the last 2 years. I want to see him kick that door down. So I'm looking forward to him going out there and doing the things that he does. But Luke Rayfield wrestles, Jaden wrestles, Mitchell Lackey wrestles, Mason wrestles. I think Trevor wrestles. I think today we dressed 5 wrestlers for our tournament. We're hosting the tournament. We've got 5 guys. So they're going to be out there on that wrestling mat soon, and then those guys are going to be on the basketball court, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do in their other sports and then what they do later in life too. So appreciate you guys and all of your support throughout the year and coverage, and I'll be listening in, and sorry I won't be able to call as much and do the things that I like to do on Saturday morning, but I hope y'all have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll do the same, and I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right, Coach. Have a good happy Thanksgiving to your family and everyone.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Appreciate you.
Keep on. You call us back anytime you want, Coach, and we got to go. Got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Terry, you got one more thought on something?
I'm gonna mention one more thing. 22 teams come into last night unbeaten, but 2 of them were knocked off. South Granville was a number 2 seed. They was beaten by number 15 Goldsboro, and Lee County, a number 3 seed, was beaten by number 14 Greensboro Dudley.
Terry, couple of real quick note on Coach Pruitt there. You're not going to find a lot of coaches that'll call and say, "Hey, it's all my fault."
Well,
he kind of really did, and you commend that whether it was his or not. A lot of coaches will do that, but not a lot of coaches are going to wake up the next morning after the loss in home playoff laws and say that, and he stands up for any of the calls, or if he tells us when he makes a bad call, we don't say it. We don't ask him any questions like that. He brings it up, and if that's what he thinks he made a bad call, and he tells us, but he's got that program running in the right direction. He's the most successful coach in school history, and so you got to look at it that way. And so Cherryville fans, you can't win them all. So some of the folks, some of these other programs, get a little spoiled with the wins. I know some programs they got a coach with rings on their fingers, Terry, state rings. That you got fans calling for them to be fired.
Yeah, yeah. Think of that.
So anyway, it's crazy fun things like that. But anyway, let's take a break. We'll be back. We got to talk. We got to do NCAA football picks. Hunter is so jacked for Thursday to watch the Redskins and Cowboys. It's not even.
Look,
fun.
all right, now
the
before
Cowboys
we go,
take over first place.
Go to break, but I'll say something when we come back.
Hail to the Redskins. That's what you want to say, right?
No, it's something else.
Okay. We'll be back in a minute. KDCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to the big Thanksgiving Turkey Day sales event this Saturday, November 17th at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. With any purchase of a new Honda, Kia, Buick, GMC, or used vehicle, you'll get a free turkey. That's right, a free turkey. Plus, we'll be there from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We'll have free turkey sandwiches from Subway in Boger City. Plus, register to win some great prizes, including free rounds of golf at the Deerbrook Golf Course, a free night's lodging at the Hampton Inn, free Balls t-shirts, and yes, we're going to give away a free turkey. So plan now to be there this Saturday, November 17th, for the big Thanksgiving Turkey Day sales event at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincolnton will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night.
Today, it's all on the line.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs.
These four drivers race head-to-head.
The championship race.
Continues to be Tyler Reddick out on top.
And the final four
Cole Custer putting the pressure on.
are ready to square off for the title in South Florida.
Sadler has been inching up on Daniel Hemrick.
The Ford EcoBoost 300.
Elliott Sadler is in the wall.
Saturday at 3 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Ford EcoBoost 300 this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
For 9 straight years, Ewing Insurance Agency in Gastonia has been voted the #1 insurance agency in the county. There's got to be a reason why. Ewing Insurance Agency features over 75 years of combined experience. Whether you're looking for a review of your auto or homeowner's insurance or seeking a customized business insurance package, the team at Ewing Insurance Agency is ready to tailor a plan that's right for you. Drop by their office at 1548 Union Road, Suite C in Gastonia. Visit their website at insuregaston.com. That's Ewing Insurance Agency.
It's Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through November 22nd at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Dwight has gone turkey crazy. buy a new Honda, get a free turkey. Buy a new Kia, get a free turkey. Buy a new GMC, get a free turkey. Buy a new Buick, get a free turkey. Buy a pre-owned vehicle and get a free turkey. All during Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through 22nd at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. And Happy Thanksgiving from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. It's Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through November 22nd at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Dwight has gone turkey crazy. Buy a new Honda, get a free turkey. Buy a new Kia, get a free turkey. Buy a new GMC, get a free turkey. Buy a new Buick, get a free turkey. Buy a pre-owned vehicle and get a free turkey. All during Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through 22nd at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. And Happy Thanksgiving from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby.
Buy your tickets now for the annual Hoops and Halos Tip-Off Basketball Classic to benefit Holy Angels in Belmont.
Glen Oaks Golf Club in Maiden is more than just a golf course. It's a place the entire family can enjoy. Golf is no better than it is at this 18-hole semi-private course with special programs for seniors, men, ladies, and juniors. Improve your score on the driving range. Shop the Pro Shop and ask about their banquet facilities. Great for weddings, reunions, and other special occasions. There's also a swimming pool and picnic area. Come and play at the Glen Oaks Golf Club. For your tee time or other questions, call 828-428-2451. Glen Oaks Golf Club, 245 Golf Course Road in Maiden. Buy or sell at the Gaston Pickers, located at 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia. They've got it all, from antique furniture to collectibles to consignments. And they do estate auctions too. And right now they're accepting motivated dealers. Just call 704-852-7055 or come by their huge store. Open Monday through Saturday 10 to 6, Sundays 1 till 6. That's the Gaston Pickers, 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook too.
Buy your tickets now for the annual Hoops and Halos Tip-Off Basketball Classic to benefit Holy Angels in Belmont, featuring 4 games, 8 area high school teams: Ashbrook, East Rutherford, Kings Mountain, Lincoln Charter, Lincolnton, North Gaston, South Point, and West Caldwell. Take to the court at Spectrum Center on December 1st, starting at 3 p.m. Players will experience a dream of a lifetime while supporting the Holy Angels mission of believing that each individual, regardless of physical.
Buy or sell at the Gaston Pickers, located at 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia. They've got it all, from antique furniture to collectibles to consignments. And they do estate auctions too. And right now they're accepting motivated dealers. Just call 704-852-7055 or come by their huge store. Open Monday through Saturday 10 to 6, Sundays 1 till 6. That's the Gaston Pickers, 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook too.
Buy your tickets now for the annual Hoops and Halos Tip-Off Basketball Classic to benefit Holy Angels in Belmont. Featuring
Good morning, welcome back. Campers in Saturday Sports Talk. Sorry we had to catch up with a long break there, folks. Tim Johnson stopped by. I ran out the door trying to chase him. He split out here so fast. Yeah, I think he said Kurt Busch is going to win and took out of here. Sped out. Burning rubber. Kurt Busch. I mean, Kyle Busch.
Yeah, okay, I'm about to say, who? Kurt?
He might win the race. He ain't going to win.
He'll probably jumped in here and said, man, I'm not sticking around.
But what I wanted to say before we went to break, you know, you said I'm excited for Thursday, and I am. You know, the Redskins in Dallas, they usually play on Thanksgiving against each other. One of the two, whether they play each other, they usually play on Thanksgiving. And I looked at my mom, and I said, I hope grandmother's not expecting me to dress up nice on Thanksgiving. And she said, Hunter, what are you talking about?
I'm going to wear my pajamas.
And I said, no, I didn't say I want to wear my pajamas. I said, well, I hope she's not wanting to take any nice pictures because Washington plays Dallas, and I'm wearing my Adrian Peterson jersey all day.
Listen, Hunter, in our family, it is tradition that if you don't wear a football jersey on Thursday, you get beat with a hose.
Well, let me tell you, that is good for you, but let me tell you something.
A cold, frozen hose.
Like, we are sports fans in my family, but not all of us just wear jerseys around. So some of us, when it's not...
Do you have a bloody hockey jersey?
I do not have a bloody hockey jersey. I had a hockey jersey growing up.
That's the only kind of hockey jersey anybody should have is a bloody one.
If you're going to wear one at Diddy's. All right. Let's get a little college football action.
Yeah. I think my picks were off last week. I can go ahead and admit it. I watched
They're
a few
somewhere
of
in
them and
this
they were
stack.
off.
I
didn't.
While
miss
I was
a
in
pick
there
last
getting
week.
other stuff.
Yeah, you didn't. 'Cause
Yeah, I
you didn't
did.
pick. Get out of here. Yeah.
Real
Filthy
quick,
animal.
Blanton last night 11 yards short of the single season record. If he has the same season this year, he will break the all-time school record of 2,500 during the summer.
Oh, Terry.
I shouldn't have told Terry to touch something.
Oh,
that was a
Terry.
mistake.
Terry, what did you do?
Terry.
I don't know what he's doing.
Terry.
But we got
Terry. He's looking for that lot of burgers. What he's looking for.
real quick before we do our picks, KTC next week on the playoffs, we'll have Kings Mountain at Statesville. Hunter, you get to go to the fine town of Statesville.
Yeah.
Terry, we'll have in Lincoln County, East Lincoln at North Lincoln. Is that gonna be a good game? Terry.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you was talking to them.
Well, I started the sentence with Terry, and then I ended it with Terry.
Senior
so,
moment.
Well, that's fine. We'll have a good game in Lincoln County next week in the
sure.
conference.
Another battle for. Here goes Basil again up against his alma mater again. Can he do it again?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you what. Everything this young guy's doing is pretty darn good. And he's gonna say, "Well, I appreciate that, Terry. He makes me feel like I'm 22 or 23." But anyway, Coach Basil, you're doing a great job down there. And Lubowitz, hey, if you're listening, great job on you.
Yeah.
Going up there to Pisgah and knocking off the number one team
in America.
Yeah. Okay.
Terry. Well, we'll adjust the power poll here in a little bit, but we'll talk about that. Shelby hosts Nash County. For you folks looking down the line, the winner of the North Lincoln East Lincoln game would go to Shelby or Ashe County.
Mm-hmm.
So Ashe County Shelby winner will host the winner of North East Lincoln game. So you Lincoln County fans could be going back to Shelby, not next week, but the next week after Thanksgiving. So keep an eye on that. Hunter, your Bandy's Trojans will move on to face West Stokes this week.
Yes.
They face the winner if they win that game, which we think they will. South Point and High Brighton. And it's about to get real for the Trojans.
That game is about to get real for the Trojans.
The South Point High Brighton game is going to be over by 9 o'clock. That's a game. I mean,
no passes in that one.
Yeah.
Carson,
well, it'd be the same way for when Bandy's plays. They run it all the time.
But other on the KTC broadcasting, we'll have Crest and Huss. That'll be a good game, big game. 14-0 first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you this, at the Crest Kings Mountain game a few weeks ago, there was about 20 Huss people standing on the track. Coach McCoy in the game brought some players over to scout out that game. So they may be playing both of those teams. That they're going to have to go through the whole conference again. And then the other game of the week, which one did I miss? Ashe County at Shelby. Kind of mentioned that one already. All right. What does the picks look like from last week? Good, bad, indifferent?
I won. I didn't miss any.
I doubt that. I don't even have to look at it to know that.
I can go ahead and tell you, collectively, we missed Kentucky because I didn't think any of us saw Tennessee beating Kentucky.
Well, I thought about it. I just didn't pick them.
Now, I remember specifically making the point that Tennessee almost got beat by UNC Charlotte.
That's what
and
we
they
did.
turn around and beat Kentucky.
They only beat
That's right.
UNC Charlotte. What was it, like 14 to something? And then they come out here and beat Kentucky pretty handily.
I contend you don't rank any teams outside the top 10. There is because and then, Terry, what leads to ranking teams outside the top 10 is the strength of schedule that we look into with these max prep rankings. That's how you end up with these rankings like this. Because when you do start ranking these teams, how can you tell someone's 25 to 60th best team in football? You can't.
So Terry,
you know the top 5 to 10, but other than that,
so it looks
how's
like
it
Terry
like?
did win mostly because me and Kevin, we took Texas Tech, and Texas won on a game-winning touchdown. So
I went with Bobby Knight, and I never bet against him. So what do you do?
Oh God!
I mean, hey, at least the only real game that I lost, besides we all lost the Kentucky pick. Texas Tech was just by a game-winning touchdown, so it could have went either way. And that's what I said. I said it can go either way. It's being played in Jerry World, neutral site. Texas Tech. Big 12 doesn't play any defense, so it just comes down to who scores last. And Texas did that. So
I mean, off the top of my head, Carson, I can only name 2 coaches who went undefeated in college basketball, and Bobby Knight's one of them. The other one's Frank McGuire, who beat Wilt Chamberlain in the championship, 1957. He might have. I don't want to talk about him.
He didn't go undefeated like 4 times in a row.
Shut up, Carson. You're ruining what I'm trying to say about these teams.
Well, we're not going to talk about that now. I say, well, the real question is, does Coach K do it this year?
We'll talk about him in just a minute. The question is, if Coach K doesn't do this year, should Duke fire the coach? All right, Citadel in Alabama. Who y'all got? For $5, y'all can get an Alabama game.
Can I just point out
say
the
that
fact,
out loud?
Can I point? No. Can I just point out the fact that Nick Saban is going to play his Heisman front-running quarterback who has a bad ankle, who is going to play him against the Citadel.
Is it a bad ankle or a bad knee? Because he's got a full brace on
it.
Both. But I will say this is so stupid. This, I said it to Kevin earlier. I said, do you know what the spread is?
Oh, like
Alabama.
40.
Yeah, Alabama is a 51-point favorite.
How do you? Okay, I'll take Citadel then. Yeah.
You think Citadel's gonna cover? You think Nick Saban's gonna take his foot off the gas after they get up like 35-0?
I just don't know if
that would be something if they did. God, bettors would be.
You
mad.
wrote that down, Terry. You could have wasted the. You could have saved some ink.
I make sure my pen was right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this though. This is a kind of a bad week matchup for like. There's not a lot of.
If you're a Bama fan, you say Roll Tide this week, you better stop.
Yeah,
you better stop. You should be banned for the week.
My grandfather
from yelling Roll Tide. They don't even know what mascot is. They got a wave. They got an elephant. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know how an elephant is correlated to an algaeal wave.
Brooks don't have a.
Yeah, I know. It's dirty water.
It's dirty water. My grandfather is a Citadel alumni, and he's not rooting for the Citadel today because he says ain't no chance.
$5, you can go to Bama. All right, Ohio State at Maryland.
Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State.
Yeah. Idaho at Florida. Is there an upset?
No
from the Vandals. Number 14, Penn State or Rutgers.
Penn State. I think Rutgers is only won like one game this year.
Trash. Absolute trash.
Oh, Middle Tennessee State at Kentucky. Number 17.
Bounce back for Kentucky.
I think Kentucky wins. I don't think it's that close, though.
Like, this is what I don't get about the scheduling. So the SEC says they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. So that means the other other four Power 5 conferences are right below them, right?
Yeah.
But when they play out of conference games, they skip all of those teams and let's play Middle Tennessee State this week in Idaho and the Citadel. That's who's coming to the South this weekend.
I looked through the top 25 rankings who they're playing today, and there's only like 4 teams that are playing ranked opponents. Everybody's playing cupcakes this week.
We're going to guess the real games. We try to here, folks. We've got to get through moving this. Let's go. Arkansas at Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Arkansas is bad.
You ain't got no pig suey on that one?
God,
no.
Wildcats of Northwestern at Minnesota.
Northwestern, they won their division this year. They will be playing in the Big Ten championship
that'll
game.
be a Big Ten game. That'll be like a 17 total points. It'll be like 14-3.
Terry, you picking the Wildcats?
Northwestern, yeah. I already got mine wrote down.
I'm watching. That's why I ain't even asked you.
That's
important game today is Sea of Red in Kentucky. NC State and Louisville. Terry, you can get a ticket for a $2 bill. A $2 bill. You can get a ticket.
Nice to go watch them.
I mean, I don't even think that's worth it to go watch Louisville right now. But yeah, State, no problem.
You know, they just fired Petrino.
I want all college football teams.
They lost Petrino and Patino in a 12-month. Well, not even 12-month period.
All these schools need to quit building upper decks on these football stadiums
because they just end up empty.
It's not working. And then they tell you they don't have enough money. But they got enough running for a lot of concrete out there.
Papa John just gave them so much money, and then
we talk about all these coaches getting fired. It's no worse than Duke. I mean, after 8 months, they lose all their players.
Yeah. I don't know what that's got to do with that, but number 19, Utah, is in Colorado. The Buffaloes.
I'm going to take Colorado.
Buffalo.
I'm not afraid to choose.
Who are you taking?
Colorado.
Buffalo.
He's picking Colorado. Good. It's Colorado, not Buffalo.
Oh, you said
Utah at Colorado. Buffalo.
Oh, at the Buffalo.
At the Buffalo.
Sorry, I heard Buffalo, and I was like, Buffalo.
I took Colorado.
Go Bills.
Yeah, Colorado. Yeah, Colorado.
23, Utah State at Colorado State. Let's get confused today.
Go Rams, but no.
So if you're keeping up out west, the state of Utah is playing the state of Colorado, and then Utah State is playing Colorado State. Follow along, kids. Number 12, Syracuse, the orange.
This is
Number
gonna be a
3,
good game.
Notre Dame. Does this ruin? Somebody always ruins Notre Dame's title chances. Is this
no?
the
Notre
Ringe?
Dame. Notre Dame runs with it, but this is a cool game because it's at Yankee Stadium, and Notre Dame is wearing those ugly pinstripe
God,
uniforms.
thank you, Hunter. You took the words out of my mouth. Those are the ugliest things I've ever seen
Yes,
in my
they're
life.
ugly.
That
Besides,
is-
like the bumblebee uniforms that Pittsburgh.
Well, at
wears.
least those
Notre
have-
Dame wearing Yankee pinstripes.
They're
That
making-
is
wearing
sellout,
Yankee
like
pinstripe
bandwagon
pants.
fanny
They
as
have
it
a
gets.
Notre Dame logo on the
Yeah.
side that's got
Yeah,
pinstripes
it's
on it.
just-
I just picture millions of Yankees and
I'm
Notre
gonna call
Dame fans all
Terry,
being the same
Terry,
thing.
Terry,
They sold some pants.
Terry, Syracuse, put it down.
There you go. Somebody's gonna do it.
No,
I'll take it.
Too
I'll
much defense over here.
Syracuse leads the nation in takeaways, Terry.
Too much defense.
The
over here.
field.
Yeah, but they run the ball. They don't give it away. Notre Dame's one of the best running teams in the nation.
And Notre Dame do have
$177
good corners.
$177 tickets.
How much?
$177.
It's in Yankee Stadium. That's
You
why.
can get 35 tickets at the NC State Louisville game as one ticket as you can for the Notre Dame Syracuse
I'm going North
game.
Carolina State then.
All right, 35. You and 35 4 of your friends, Terry.
And it's pretty easier for us to get to Kentucky than up to New York. So
Check it out on Twitter, guys. It is the tundra is officially frozen in Boone right now.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
It's glazed over, iced over right now.
Yeah.
And Georgia State's coming into town, and we're not going to pick this game. I'm just going to tell you right now, they ain't got a chance.
No.
And a snowball's chance in Georgia State to win this
Yeah,
ball game.
you're coming from what used to be Turner Field,
Yeah.
into now
Turner Field
to Boone.
to Boone. That's a little bit of a change.
And it's icy.
Yeah.
Good luck, boys. I tell you what, we're going to feed you nice, good meal on the way out, right?
You know
there.
what
And
else?
say, hey, you do
Send
it.
them to Daniel Boone in on the way.
That's what
out.
Shelby does. They send you. They used to feed you Arby's
they
after they
do,
beat you.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna pick. And we're not gonna pick this game. I just want to point it out too. Western Carolina travels to North Carolina. I think this is the first time all year North Carolina has been a favorite, and they're a 31-point favorite.
Hey
in this
man,
game.
go Catamounts.
$7.
Hey, they
$7.
might. If Western Carolina, I says it now. If Western Carolina beats North Carolina today,
Larry Fedora
Larry
shouldn't
Fedora
make it
off
back
with
to
the
his
fedora.
office. He
shouldn't
shouldn't
make it off the field.
Yeah.
Take him out right then and there. Sniper's nest on top. Take the fedora off it. No, I'm just kidding.
God, Hunter's on fire.
Hunter, they owe him too much money.
Hunter Yancey called for that. Nobody else.
And what they're going to do with that money is pay for the hitman. And no, I'm just kidding. No,
You know,
just take him.
that is a big
that
shame
is-
of that is one of the big shames of college sports is that these public universities are on the hook for these coach contracts for millions and millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars,
And
but
you
the
want-
NFL cut them after 6 games. They say, I don't care. You ain't winning.
But the thing about these colleges is that
taxpayer money.
that's what it's taxpayer money that you got to go in to pay for that, and then you're thinking about when you're giving all that money, then you turn around and say we ain't got no money to pay the players, we ain't got no money to do this, we need more money, buy more stuff, we need more money, and that all the money goes to is paying severance pay to these coaches.
That's why I buy most of my North Carolina gear from China. They ain't
That
getting
sounds
nothing
like
out of me.
that sounds like a Tar Heel fan.
They ain't getting nothing out of me. Number 9, West Virginia, Oklahoma State.
West Virginia. Is it wait at West Virginia or at Oklahoma State? I didn't see.
Oklahoma State.
West Virginia.
State.
I'm still taking
Oklahoma
West
State,
Virginia.
Yeah, Oklahoma State can't play
Oklahoma
defense.
State gave Texas a run for their money. No Big 12 team can play defense.
Well,
but West
especially
Virginia-
Oklahoma
But if it comes down to it, I'm taking the player. I'm taking Will Greer for West Virginia. I think he'll make more plays.
That's who you taking too.
Yeah, West Virginia. I just want to see Mike Gundy mad.
And blast Twitter
There we go.
again.
We got 3 differences.
Number 20, Boston College at
no
Florida
problem.
State.
Boston College.
Yeah.
Y'all know how silly that sounds.
Yeah.
Just
Florida
think about
State.
What
not
year
only-
is it?
I was about to say, but not only just in the past is Florida State over Boston College, but just 2 years ago, Boston College didn't win a game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Them and basketball.
Yeah, this is my this is
The whole
this is my
year.
deal with Florida State. This is my deal with Florida State. That head coach, he's got until maybe 3 games in the next season to procure some wins. It would be best for him to go 3-0 starting next year.
I
or
really
else
need
he's
to hire
fired.
Charlie Ward. What do
He's
you think?
fired, and not to mention, I could see Francois transferring. That quarterback that they have, I could see him transferring.
Give up on football at this point.
I mean, it's not his fault that the coach, he came there thinking he was going to play for Jimbo Fisher, and what happened? Jimbo Fisher left.
Took the money and ran.
Took the money.
Does
and
Indiana
ran.
have a chance at number 4 Michigan?
No.
Nah.
No. Michigan all the way.
Indiana's not App State.
Hunter's Cupcake Dogs play UMass today in Georgia. We'll go across that one.
Yeah, we don't have to
All
pick
right,
that one.
this
but
one
we're
may be.
going.
This one may have a choose up. Let's see. Oregon State at number 18, Washington.
Washington. Oregon State. I mean, it's not Steven Jackson.
Anybody
anymore,
going with
man.
the Beavers?
It's up to you, Hunter.
No. No upset in Clemson today. We'll skip that one.
No upset in Clemson.
Yeah,
Kansas not going to upset Oklahoma.
Not
Rice
at
at
all.
LSU.
Well, did you real quick?
at
Did you
all.
see where Les Miles is going to Kansas next year? Or that's where
That's
he's
the
looking.
rumor.
Yeah, that's where he's looking.
A plane went there out of, what was it, Baton Rouge?
Yeah.
Yeah, where Les Miles is from, and it went to Kansas, and it was like a Kansas jet. Didn't they fly
Yeah,
him
that
out
or
there?
a nice little
It's
PJ.
it's a whole thing where, like, if you read into it, Les Miles might be going to Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah.
To go lose.
Number 24, Cincinnati at number 11, Central Florida.
I would say Cincinnati if it was at Cincinnati,
Yes,
but it's
Florida.
at Central Florida, so I'm still taking UCF to
Central
remain
Florida.
undefeated.
UCF, I'm taking Cincinnati.
Bearcats for Terry.
What is a Bearcat, Terry?
It's a cat that's a bear, dude. All right.
It's genetic experimenting gone wrong.
It's Man Bear Pig's first cousin.
Man Bear Pig.
Number 16, Iowa State at number 15, Texas.
I am riding high on the Cyclones of Iowa State.
Texas.
I've picked them twice, and they haven't let me down. I'm taking Iowa State. Give me that head! Act like I'm Lee Corso over here.
We got a
with the
tiger over
Iowa
here. I don't have
Yeah,
a
it's not really
cyclone head.
Which is a bird, is there?
It's,
It's like
it's
a cardinal.
red cardinal.
Isn't it kind of weird to name your team after a natural disaster that kills
I don't know.
people?
Ask the
Nah,
Carolina
it comes
Hurricanes
to-
or the Miami Hurricanes.
I guess too. And
Yeah.
the Hurricanes
And
got
the
a bird
Hurricanes
too.
Bird, yeah, it's a
Well,
stork.
the Carolina
Ooh.
Hurricanes have
It's
a pig.
What is it? Is it
Do
a
they?
stork
Yeah.
or is it an ibis?
What
Or
now?
a crane?
I do not know, but I'll
It's an
commend
ibis.
you for knowing
It's
it
an
is an
ibis.
ibis.
An ibis.
But it's not an ibis.
Ibis.
But I
I was
did
gonna
not
say,
know.
I don't know what an ibis is.
I'd never been to a Miami Hurricane football game,
haven't
and then when they came to North Carolina, they came to Boone Cut like last
Couple
year
years
or
ago,
whatever.
yeah.
That was crazy. That's the most outstanding thing I've ever heard. Just
Yeah.
you could blow someone's mind in heaven who never watched football again, who died in 1995, and be like, yeah, Miami came to Boone. But they I went to the games and I didn't know it. They don't fly like Miami Hurricane flags. They fly hurricane warning flags.
Yeah, that's
I,
what the
and I
Hurricanes
didn't
do.
know that. I just thought that was wild. Did you know that?
Yeah.
What are they trying to say?
The
They're trying to
the
bring
hurricane's
bad,
coming
they're
in
trying
and
to bring
blowing.
bad juju to this
I don't.
area.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Don't put that black magic on me.
According to our inside information text coming across the board, I've got more inside information than y'all two right now.
Inside
Well,
information.
LSU just bought out Les Miles for $1.5 million. Kansas is finalizing the deal, according to Sports Illustrated.
I broke the news.
No, Tom Cinefani broke the news.
No,
You-
it
you-
was me.
Technically,
It was
That was
me.
from Tom Cinefani. on
technically,
that one.
PMT broke the news. I heard it. It's Wednesday. I heard it Wednesday on the podcast.
I broke the news. Arizona at Washington State, number 8.
Washington State.
Wazoo.
And that's going to be it for our picks of the day on college football. We'll be back in a minute on, let's see, make sure I got all these buttons hit right.
Please.
5 different.
All right.
So there's
There are
five
different possibilities for
Who's
next
got
week.
the most difference? Is it me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
Whatever the
I-
question is, yes.
Yes.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. KDC Broadcasting.
No, I do.
.com.
So you have the highest chance of getting them all wrong.
I had 3. I took Utah, I took Oklahoma State, and I took
Kane Brown. I thought she was adorable, and she was like the sweetest girl ever. And she loved my dogs, which are like my babies. So, I don't know, she was like perfect for me.
That's Kane Brown this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Buy your tickets now for the annual Hoops and Halos Tip-Off Basketball Classic to benefit Holy Angels in Belmont, featuring 4 games, 8 area high school teams: Ashbrook, East Rutherford, Kings Mountain, Lincoln Charter, Lincolnton, North Gaston, South Point, and West Caldwell. Take to the court at Spectrum Center on December 1st, starting at 3 p.m. Players will experience a dream of a lifetime while supporting the Holy Angels mission of believing that each individual, regardless of physical and mental ability, has the right to the highest quality of life. A portion of ticket sales goes to support the programs and services of Holy Angels. Tickets start at $20, and the same ticket gives you admission to Holy Angels Night on January 17, 2019, when the Hornets host the Sacramento Kings at the Spectrum Center. To purchase tickets, go to hoopsandhalos.com. That's hoops, A-N-D, halos.com.
cookies, toys, and gifts. Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 8th through 18th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Join us to celebrate a fashionable Christmas with Manhattan-inspired holiday window displays and shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets online and save at SouthernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
It's Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through November 22nd at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Dwight has gone turkey crazy. Buy a new Honda, get a free turkey. Buy a new Kia, get a free turkey. Buy a new GMC, get a free turkey. Buy a new Buick, get a free turkey. Buy a pre-owned vehicle and get a free turkey. All during Happy Turkey Days, November 12th through 22nd at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 Stixon Boulevard in Shelby. And Happy Thanksgiving from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby.
All eyes at the front of the field.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs.
At the moment, Kevin Harvick not a factor.
Race 10.
Does Kyle Busch have one more run left in him?
And the championship will be decided.
Here comes Joey Logano trying to make it 3 wide.
The Ford EcoBoost 400.
The best team all year long can now celebrate a championship.
Sunday at 1:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Ford EcoBoost 400 this Sunday afternoon at 1:30 on Carolina Country WCSL. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Hi, this is Mike Jones. We are now open at our new Cherryville and Auto Truck Parts Incorporated, our new Napa store that we've moved from the other side of town, and our new location. Now we're open at 1313 Shelby Highway. That's the former Marvin Beam Ford location. Come over and get your hydraulic hoses made up, any of your heavy-duty truck parts, and anything that you need automotive-wise. We are trying to do our best at supplying Cherryville with all their tractor needs and their trailer needs and their truck needs. And if you're a farmer and you've got some things that you want us to get that you may not think we have, check us out. Come by and see us Monday through Friday, 8 until 6, or Saturday, 8 until 5. Or the number is 704-435-4581. Now that's 1313 Shelby Highway, Highway 150 West in Cherryville, the old Marvin Beam Ford dealership.
I can't. Yeah, no, I definitely can't say that. Yeah, no, Terry, come on, sing it. You know, Terry,
You are.
We
Terry
need
Reinhardt.
a hype video, a music video, something, because Terry knows every word to this song, just about.
You want to see Will and them getting hype in the post game show with our Friday Night Lights rap song. So.
Well, Terry does that
They get pretty excited in here. I've got to film you guys walking down the hall, and I can make some funny video. Intro music, intro video.
Clock of 40 times.
You're not wearing what you're wearing now, walking down the hall.
Yes, no, yes. Make him wear that. Make him wear that.
How tough?
Make him run the 40. Make him run the 40 in this full outfit.
Pajamas.
Oh, dude, I was really hoping you were wearing slippers too.
For my credit, it was cold and I wanted my sweatpants. I couldn't find them. I was pressed for time, so I just put some nice fuzzy. People can't see my pants.
How does that explain you borrowing your grandmother's sweater?
Oh,
this is my sweater and it's a nice sweater.
This is my sweater. And it's warm and cozy, and I love it. My grandma made it for me.
I will not take any sweater slander today. This is warm. The weather has changed.
It's sweater weather for Hunter.
Oh, that's a good song.
It's
a good song.
It's okay.
Excuse you.
There's way better songs about sweaters, dude.
I got Will the Thrill trying to call me. Will, if you're listening,
I'm talking about
you got
the
to text
Weezer
me. I'm hosting a
sweater, the
radio
Undone
show
the
right
sweater.
now. It doesn't sound like it, but
We'll
but
talk
I am.
about this off air. This is not a music show. This is a sports show for men.
Okay.
Men can't like
Sunday.
Close enough.
Terry.
Yes.
Thursday, Terry says Redskins and Cowboys are playing for first place. Explain yourself, Terry Reinhardt.
Do that math, Terry.
Houston will go to Washington this week and win.
Nope.
And Dallas will go to Atlanta
Nope.
and win.
No.
And that means come Thursday, when Dallas beats Washington, they will take over first place in the NFC East in a matter of 2 weeks. So, there you go, Hunter.
God, that is a Skip Bayless sitting across from me.
It's not a Skip Bayless.
Come on now.
So y'all can beat Houston.
We can beat Houston.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Our defense is good enough to beat
Well, I
Houston.
will say one thing. I mean, your defense
Watson another collapse
last
alone.
week, I mean, y'all, you have to. I will give you a lot of credit against Tampa Bay. Y'all put what? Y'all gave them 500 and some yard, and they scored 3 points.
Exactly.
That was amazing.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, so
Well,
here we are again.
No. Okay, now
I think that was only like the second time in history I'd say
Now
that.
I will say this. Now, in all seriousness, this I don't know if I've said this before or on here, but I said it. I think it was maybe my father, because the stats stood out to me like crazy after that
It
game.
was your grandmother.
Well, she is
okay.
apparently.
You were explaining her to Cowboys Redskins when you borrowed that sweater.
No, I was talking to him about the Redskins. I was like, we may have won today, but it was god awful because all of our points did not come until the fourth quarter. And this is the stat I want to throw to you, because Kevin loves stats, of course, and he always brings up how the NFL average is what? About
23 to 24.
23 to 24 points per game. And every team with a winning record is averaging that amount of points except for one team. They're averaging lower than the NFL average with a winning record. And can you guess who that is? The Washington Redskins. They are the only team with a winning record that offensively averages less points than the NFL average. That is sad. Imagine if they played a team that could score.
I mean, Alex Smith has had exactly 178 yards in like 3 games.
Oh, I know. Don't get me
They're
started
just-
on Alex Smith. He is a joke.
thought you
he's
loved him.
He's a no. I don't love.
I
Alex.
thought you. I swear.
He likes
no.
Kirk
I
Cousins.
like
He
Kirk
does.
Cousins.
Okay,
I
yes.
like the
I give you
gunslinger
that.
in Kirk
He
Cousins.
said it
for
last
all
week at
weapons.
least. I do know that, Carson. I don't know if he said it
No,
before.
no, absolutely.
He did say that last week.
Now, Alex Smith is a game manager. Okay, yeah, so what? But I hate the fact that he's afraid to throw it further than 10 yards. Okay, our offensive line has been decimated, but Trent Williams might be coming back this week. We had to pull up practice squad players to fill our dang offensive
Washington's
line.
been pulling everybody
We've
out.
been so injured. We couldn't
That's
run
where
the
all the
ball.
cashiers at Walmart are. They're on the,
Yeah, they're all playing for us now. But we're getting healthier now. The Texans' defense, people would like to say, on paper, it should be great. It really isn't that great. Okay,
But
their
offense is
their
getting
offense
better.
is getting better, but we still have a top 10 defense. So our defense, because that's what do we do to Tampa Bay? Like you said, they may have put 500 yards up. Sorry, but they didn't score but three. No, what was it? Three points. They only scored 3 points. So just because you can throw all over us and run all over us doesn't mean when you get into the red zone you're gonna score. So red zone defense is a key, obviously, and being able to outscore is something that we really can't do. But with our play style, if we can control it with getting Trent Williams back, control the run game where Adrian Peterson can actually run the ball, we have a good chance of winning this game. And not a lot of people, and I said it, and I was joking, but in all seriousness, not a lot of people come into FedEx Field this year at least because the field just looks awful.
It's pretty gross.
And they just and win. Even Aaron Rodgers tried to come in there, and we said, "Not today, buddy." I mean, it was nasty and rainy, but
Oh my God, if y'all finally have a year, y'all can win at home.
you guys would know y'all came in there and got beat.
That's okay. We still lead our. When we went to FedEx Field, we've won 12, and y'all have won 7.
Dallas, Washington, and Philadelphia have all actually scored more points than they've given up this year. Washington's +1. Bears, Vikings, and Packers
Barely.
are all positive. Looking down at the home and away splits, and you have to talk about our hometown team here, the Carolina Panthers. 5-0 at home, 1-3 on the road.
Yeah.
Against winning teams, they're 1-2. The only win was against the Cincinnati Bengals, in which
they're falling apart.
at home, in which the quarterback threw 4 interceptions.
See, and that's something you need to look at now is like the Bengals, because I was listening to a podcast and they said it was like the winner. This is a which team is good game when it was between Carolina and Cincinnati, and Carolina won that game. And it's been proven now the last few weeks the Bengals have looked awful. AJ Green is hurt, so their offense is almost stagnant because even Joe Mixon, their starting running back, has been banged up. He's not playing as consistently as he would. So So really, they might not even. I wouldn't really consider that a win against a team with a winning record, because I think they're going to lose this week.
Cincinnati will get 2 more wins. They got to play Cleveland 2 more times.
I don't necessarily think.
How do you say something ignorant like that?
Well, when you got Hugh Jackson back,
they fired him.
No, Cincinnati has.
Cincinnati.
Oh, they've got him back. Oh, they're definitely losing now. They just hired the
loser.
Yeah, what are you talking
about? Some people.
Cleveland's about to go 7 straight wins.
Some people are born to be head coaches, and some people are born to be coordinators.
I totally agree with that.
Hugh Jackson is a coordinator.
I didn't think they put
Norv
him at
Turner. Norv Turner's a coordinator.
But I didn't think they put him at a coordinator position. I thought
he's an
Like
assistant.
What is
saying
his official role?
It's like an assistant to the mayor of Cincinnati. I don't know.
It's like The Office. He says he's the assistant coach. Marvin Lewis says he's assistant to the head coach. It's one of those deals.
Gosh, whatever that.
But you know why they brought Hugh Jackson in? Because when Cincinnati loses like the rest of their games, he's going to be the fall guy. So Marvin Lewis keeps his job for another year.
Marvin's definitely coming back next year.
I mean, hey,
if Jeff Fisher is Mr. 7-9, Marvin Lewis is Mr. 9-7.
Yeah,
and
they kill it.
And like 0-20 in playoff games. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
The man just cannot buy a playoff game. He could go to the refs and pay them maybe
He'd find
$2,000 a piece. Okay, give them $2,000 a piece and say, look, maybe don't call so many fouls on us, and they'd still find a way to lose.
Well, you got Vontez Burfict, so. And Joe, it's really the character of the Bengals that I worry about. You got Vontez Burfict, you got Joe Mixon.
Yeah,
I mean, that's two questionable guys off.
Is Pac-Man still there? Or they finally cut him.
I don't think Adam Jones.
All right, guys, what's up? Shopper.com win $50 for me every week picking NFL games. I've got the NFL Eliminator Power Poll. Every week I eliminate a team from Super Bowl contention.
Go ahead and eliminate Dallas Cowboys.
These teams are not ranked in order. Again, I do not put these teams in order of who I think is the best. I put in order who I think is the best chance to win the Super Bowl. So there's the caveat on that. To win the Super Bowl, Cherry, you got to be in the playoffs. Yeah. That's one thing. The second thing is, if you got buys, first-round buys, that helps out a lot. Percentage-wise in the NFL, if you're going into betting weekends this year, guys, actually the first weekend, wild card weekend, is our 50-50 bets. Week 2 is 75-25 home teams. So be smart with your week 2 bets. And then the championship round backs up to the 50-50 range. So
I think I might partake in them bets.
So write that down, 50, 75, 50 in the playoffs. Feel safe picking an upset in the first and third rounds, guys. You can almost feel safe picking 2, but make sure you pick the right 2. There's your Vegas advice for the week. This week's elimination, I got rid of the Detroit Lions. You ain't winning the Super Bowl this year. You might never. You're in the city of the Motor City.
Of the Motor City.
Yeah.
Well, did you see where they practice outdoors this week?
Yeah.
Even though they play
indoors
in a dome. I mean, I understand.
I mean, do people have brains or do they not?
Speaking of that, have you heard the Panthers owner's new ploy now?
What? Oh, yeah, for the indoor facility.
This is where he's going.
Because all the rain this week. Yeah.
I want someone to point that out to him, what Carson just said. Well, Mr. Tepper, Detroit has an indoor stadium, and they practice outdoors, too.
Yeah.
So, basically, and we said this when they sold, it ain't even going to be the first year before they start punching holes into how are we going to get taxpayer dollars out of these folks. And there's your first step. Tepper wants an indoor practice facility. No. He's a billionaire. He can afford to buy a bubble. Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. New York and Virginia just gave him $2.1 billion to put a store or put his warehouses there. These guys find a way to steal that taxpayer money. Be careful, Charlotte, for what you're asking for before you end up with what just happened in NCAA this week, guys. The Myrtle Beach Bowl was just announced.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
So be careful before you're pulling for the Myrtle Beach Panthers, and we're all one Carolina in Myrtle Beach.
There is a bowling complex called Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Right.
I really want them to sponsor the Myrtle Beach Bowl, so it'll be the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Myrtle Beach Bowl.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it be?
The Myrtle Beach Bowling, Myrtle Beach Bowl.
And in their gift bags, they could hand out the hand-painted shirts.
Is there even
gift cards to Wings?
If the gift bags are not officially sponsored by the Gay Dolphin gift shop,
yes,
they drop the ball. Every guy should get a bag with a dolphin on it.
Yeah, and the real question is, are they just going to play this bowl at Coastal Carolina? Or
yeah, probably.
I was going to say, are they actually building a stadium?
They'll play it in the Pelican Stadium.
That Coastal's actually adding seats, so I'm guessing that's why. I mean, how big's the Myrtle Beach Bowl going to be? I mean, come on. But I'm getting they're adding stadium. Actually, they've been adding stadium to Coastal for years, so I guess maybe that's part of.
Josh Norman, they named the field house after him, or the press
really?
box or something like that, because he gave
Folks,
him so
Teal
much money.
Field. That's all I got to say. Teal Field.
Mm-hmm.
Does
I mean,
that
it's
not sound
close
like
to
fun?
green. It's
Does that
not
sound like
terribly
fun?
unnatural.
The Chanticleers.
It just looks like you got the contrast on your TV off a little bit.
What is the deal with South Carolina and the fighting chickens?
I don't know.
Coastal's the
Chanticleers.
South Carolina's the
got a shady
Gamecocks.
past, man.
Something's going on.
They like their chicken.
They like to fight chickens, I guess.
Obviously.
We need
All right.
to send the U.S.
Teams I got on the chopping block. The one team I got on the chopping block probably can say goodbye this week. Jacksonville Jaguars 3-6. It's all falling apart.
Remember when they were good last year?
Remember when they thought they were good 3 weeks ago? Got to remember the biggest thing this year, and I really think, is Fournette's not been there.
Yeah.
And that Bortles has probably been the same quarterback.
It's hurt me in one of my fantasy leagues.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, it does hurt you.
And guess what? I didn't start him last week because I didn't know
what
how
happened
his
to Dak
hammy
last
was.
year without Zeke?
Well, I'm just saying, if you don't think it does, you go all the way back when LaDainian Thompson was with Phillip Rivers. L.A. was pretty good, and then they fell off. They finally coming back now.
Mm-hmm.
But, when you lose a great running back, it hurts you.
Yeah. Speaking of Phillip Rivers and the Chargers, they were supposed to play in Mexico this week.
Nope.
No.
Rams
and Chargers.
Other LA team. Rams Chiefs.
I'm going to get the LA Rams Chiefs this week. So it's been moved to LA.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the first Monday night football game in LA in 33 years. Believe that. I think the Rams is the first time they've been in LA a Monday night. It's like 50, whatever it is.
No, they
was
were
even more
on,
than that.
they played. I mean, they didn't play in LA.
That's what it is, in LA.
Okay.
The
And
Rams in LA.
Who's playing in that game?
Rams and Chiefs.
Rams and Chiefs. This is in LA, so they're in the Coliseum.
Rams and Chiefs.
Because remember, the Rams and Chargers don't actually play in LA.
No, they don't.
They're both
Well, the Rams
They
do.
play in
the
Southern
Los Angeles
California.
Chargers.
The Chargers play in Carson, California.
That-
Great
that-
name for a
that's-
place, by the way.
That's not LA.
Oh no, it's
That's
not. But the Rams.
Gastonia. That's
what
Gastonia. They're the
I'm saying,
Gastonia.
Oh, I know. No, I'm agreeing. I'm saying the Rams play in LA. The Chargers play in Carson.
But you want to know what's going to be so sad though about this game? Really, and I'm not meaning like the game's going to be phenomenal, but just looking in the stands, there's going to be more Chiefs fans there than anybody really giving a rip about the Rams. I hate to say it.
No,
I'm telling you, nobody. That's what everybody's saying. Is nobody? It's Laker Nation.
We are building this game up as one of the top-notch games.
the
all
game
time.
of the century
and
for 2
neither
weeks.
one of these teams will make the Super Bowl.
So I was separating the rest of
the
this
Cowboys
list.
are going to make the playoffs. So.
The next 8 teams are out of the playoffs, and I was trying to find a common ground with them. A lot of them, I don't think any of them have a chance to make it. But the common ground I found in them, 4 of them are birds. Falcons, Eagles, Seahawks, and Ravens are all 4-5 right now. Ravens might be getting rid of the coach. Actually, Seahawks won on Friday, Thursday night, so they're back up to 5-5. Philadelphia 4-5, Falcons 4-5, Cowboys 4-5, Packers now 4-5-1. Dolphins 5-5. Are any of those going to make a playoff run? If anybody makes a playoff run in that group, I think Seattle has a chance, and Baltimore has a chance. The other ones, I don't think have a chance.
No, the only one I would say out of this group that really has a chance to make a playoff run are the Tennessee Titans, just because
I didn't mention them. These are the ones I was talking about.
But they're right there.
I know. Listen.
But they're right there. They're right.
I know. Listen.
They're a part. They aren't on the other side of your heading.
I know.
Okay.
I didn't mention them for
out
a
of
reason.
all of them, then.
What we're doing is different from what this says.
Okay. So all right, fine. Out of them,
Sorry.
the only team that can make a playoff run is Philly. That's just
You got Philly thinking.
That's just if something miraculous happens. Because the NFC East is wide open at all times.
Philly's got to go to New Orleans this week.
They do have to go to New Orleans. But I'm just talking
then if you take that
division-wise.
loss, you go to 4-6. You got to win out.
No, you don't. Think about it. I'm just talking division-wise. They
I
still
think
have
the
to
division,
play the Skins, and they have
8-8
to
might
play
be the winner.
Cowboys
9-7
again.
should be the winner in the East. 8-8 might be.
So
9-7 should be.
I mean, the Panthers made it in under 500 one time, so it's
7
not.
wins.
It's not uncommon.
Seattle's the first team out of the playoffs right now in the NFC
Is
at 5-5. Green Bay's the second team out. Atlanta, Dallas, Philadelphia is in that order. 1 through 6 seeds in the
How many
NFC.
wild cards are there?
2.
Okay.
Rams and Saints would get the byes if the playoffs started today. Bears would host the Vikings, and Redskins would host the Panthers again, Hunter.
Which we won, so that'll be moving on to the next one.
In the AFC, first team out right now is Hunter's Tennessee Titans. Now, do you want to talk about the Titans?
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought they were. Look, the way you had it set up with the heading underneath them, I thought the next. All right, well, anyways, so talking about the Titans, the only reason why I was saying the Titans, I mean, that division is just weak. It is. It's really bad. Is. Someone call it bad.
Yeah,
someone call it bad.
Not as bad as Cincinnati.
But
I mean, you can jump over
Tennessee
them.
has the number 2 strength of victory, and that means the teams you beat had their records. They have the number 2 strength of victory in the AFC.
And they have the number 1 defense in the league. And
Yes,
that showed
that always helps.
And that showed against Tom Brady in New England. People still
They're
aren't
chasing
sold.
Cincy.
They are chasing
Cincy.
Cincy.
Well, they're tied with them. There's no chasing. They're tied with them right now.
They're chasing
Cincy's got the
Cincinnati right now,
tiebreaker.
but they're going to jump Cincinnati because I think Cincinnati is just going to fall. I don't necessarily think Cincinnati sweeps Cleveland. I think they might split. I think Cincinnati might win at home, and I think Cleveland will win at home.
All right, let's see what you guys picked today. We real quick got about 2 or 3 minutes. Let's go through the picks. Let me give you my the top 4 to 12, whatever. Top 4, I got the contenders. They're all first-round buys. Saints, Steelers, Chiefs, and Rams in that order. Starting at 5, I got Patriots, Chargers, Texans at 8, Vikings at 9, Redskins at 10, Panthers 11, and Bengals at 12. The only reason I got you Vikings over the Redskins right now, Hunter, is because that quarterback, and you said they got the better quarterback.
They
so
do
I'm
have
lean
the
with
better
them
quarterback.
Right now.
They do. If we
I just don't
match
like
up-
your injury situation, really. Truthfully, it's what I don't like. Yeah, it's not
Our
good.
offensive line is just decimated.
All right, picks real quick. If the playoffs began today, here's the NFL picks. Cincinnati at Patriots. Who y'all got?
Patriots.
Patriots.
Chargers at Texans.
Chargers.
I'm going to go Texans.
Chargers.
No matter what y'all picked in that situation, it would set up this scenario because you all went with the Patriots. So it'd be New England at the Steelers in round 2.
New England.
Yeah, New England.
They've had Pittsburgh's numbers
in the playoffs.
Even on the road.
Yes,
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
it's Tom Brady.
It's Bill Belichick.
Playoffs.
Pittsburgh wins this one if they're playing in Pittsburgh.
That would set up either Chargers or Texans at Chiefs. Can either one of them knock off the Chiefs?
The Chargers have a better chance to knock off
I think the Chargers-Chiefs game would be one of the best games that we'll see in the whole postseason.
Well, don't the Chargers play the Chiefs again sometime this season?
They're only a game and a half behind them. Oh, yeah.
Houston beats.
He's going to Houston over Chargers anyway. But you got Houston over Chiefs too?
Yeah.
Oh, so
no, there's that offense. There's no way that offense compared to the Chargers
wants to see a Kansas City Chiefs and Los Angeles. I mean, the Chargers play each other.
The Chargers offense
where
is
the
2
final
times better
score
than the
is
Texans.
72-65. So Carson and Hunter have New England, Pittsburgh. Terry has Houston and New England, right? Did you pick New England over Pittsburgh?
Okay. No, I took
flip
Pittsburgh.
flop. We have New England over here. And
y'all had New England.
Yeah, I had Pittsburgh.
He had Pittsburgh. He had Pittsburgh versus Houston. We have New England versus the winner of.
Y'all did y'all both pick LA?
I
y'all
just
split on that.
It'll be the better game.
Hunter's got Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs.
Hunter's got chalk. Chiefs, Steelers, right?
I have Chiefs, New England.
There, New England. I'll get it
One
right
of
in a
those.
second. One of those. Bad math. All right, let's go to the NFC real quick. Finish up. Vikings would open up in Chicago in the cold.
Yeah, Chicago.
Chicago's the only team in the top 10 in both offense and defense.
Chicago's
right
going to
now.
win this division, and Chicago's going to beat Minnesota.
All right. Panthers at Redskins. Is this the toss-up, or are Carson and Terry as confident as Hunter is?
Carolina wins.
Tiebreak on Carson.
It's at Washington.
To be at Washington.
It's at Washington.
We've already won at Washington, and Josh Norman absolutely hates Cam Newton.
Well, a lot of people absolutely hate Cam Newton. It's tough for me to trust Alex Smith in a big game. That would be my only thing because he's not going to take enough chances. I think it would be Carolina about 50.
I would say it's tough to trust Cam Newton in a bad game.
Carolina can't stop the run anyways.
So we got
who's got the better running back?
Yeah, no, you're right.
All right, so going into round 2, that would set up.
And who's got the better defense?
Did y'all pick Chicago,
Depends
right?
on what game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So y'all picked Chicago, so that would once again set up the same matchup. So that made it easy on me. Bears at Saints. Anybody picking against the Saints in the Dome in round?
Look, you can go ahead and fill this all the way out for me. New Orleans is going to the Super Bowl.
Terry, you got Bears?
I'm going to take the Bears because I think defense will beat offense.
Terry.
When it comes to it.
In the Dome.
Terry,
I'm
that
going to
is
go Saints.
blasphemous.
Yeah, I got to go Saints.
All right, that leaves us either Panthers or Redskins in L.A. Can either one of them score 20 points on
No.
the Rams?
Be the Rams.
No.
It'll be Rams.
All right.
Oh, boys, that's not funny.
So this side of the table's got Saints and Rams. I think everybody in the room's got Saints and Rams. Terry's got Bears and Rams. Terry, you're real quick. Your pick on Bears and Rams then.
Chicago goes to the Super Bowl.
So Terry,
Now, I would love to see that.
Hold on,
Just 'cause
Terry.
I love to see that.
Terry, who
man.
you
Terry,
got?
Terry, I want you to say
Pittsburgh
that,
or Texans, real quick.
Pittsburgh.
Terry, I want you to
Steelers and Bears
I want
for
you to
Terry.
tell me with a straight face that you have faith in Mitch Trubisky.
He's a State fan. He
I'm
loves Mitch Trubisky.
I'll tell you what, I'm not really putting all your marbles on him. I'm putting it on the defense. The defense is going to make a
No,
lot.
I'll look you at a straight
Breeze
face.
will
I
have
got
to
faith in
run
Mitch
for his
Trubisky.
life.
I want you people to understand something. They say Mitch
He's had
Trubisky,
he's had a good couple of weeks. I just
they
don't
say
know.
Mitch Trubisky is a system quarterback. Well, you could say the same thing about Tom Brady.
Carson,
you
who got
could
the
say
AFC
the same thing about
coming out
all
of the AFC?
quarterbacks.
New England.
And who did you have coming out of the AFC, Hunter?
Coming out of the AFC, what was it?
New England and
Chiefs. New England. They already beat the Chiefs.
All right. So there's y'all's picks for the Super Bowl. Terry, who's going to win it? Bears, Steelers.
God, what
this
year is it?
when, Yeah. This will come down. Pittsburgh wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
New England, New Orleans for Hunter.
I don't like saying that, but they will.
Carson, New England, LA Rams.
Oh my God, I have an aneurysm thinking about it. I mean, I love the Rams, but I can't.
Listen, here's the thing. You can pick against Brady in the Super Bowl. He's only what 5-3.
He's only lost to NFC East teams.
But I wouldn't pick against I wouldn't pick against him getting to the Super Bowl.
Thinking about it, the way to beat the Patriots is to get pressure up the middle, and to hit Tom Brady.
And y'all don't do that.
Well, we've got the people to do that. If we hit on the right things. I mean, you've got Ndamukong Suh, you got Aaron Donald, you got Michael Brockers.
On paper, you should be one of the best rushing defenses in the league.
Well, you got to wait. We've got to let Aqib Talib come back. That's a big thing because Marcus Peters has been getting burned. But if you look at him when he had really good numbers at Kansas City last year, he always had safety help over the top. Aqib Talib is our best one-on-one corner cover corner. So that when he comes back, you're going to be able to move back. You're able to slide that safety over to help Marcus Peters again. You can let Talib play one-on-one. Then you can let maybe a couple backers focus a little bit more on stopping the run. Because that's really what it is. 3-4 defense, you rely a lot more on your backers to stop the run than you do your front three.
Yeah.
All right, I've got Saints over Patriots is how I had it out. So that's it. In the championship rounds, I've got Chargers and Patriots, Rams and Saints. All right, top 10 real quick before we get out of here. Readjusted. Now, here's how it works once the playoffs goes. You lose in the playoffs, you're out. Everyone who wins, no matter how many points that you may have more than them, right now, you don't pass them. So you're out of the first round. So everyone who lost last night, you are out of the top 10. No chance. I don't care how many points you've got this year. Whether you're upset or not, you're done. Capiche. Out. So here's the new top 10. At number 11, just on the outside, is the only teams we got left. Bessemer City, number 11, still left out on the outside. Yellow Jackets so close. East Lincoln, they win last night. They keep the Yellow Jackets out of that 10 spot. They're in the 10 hole with 3 points. North Lincoln's number 9 with 11 points. They jump over Kramer and Maiden as those two teams lose. Thomas Jefferson stays where they are with 12 points, 11 wins in the 8 spot. East Rutherford stays where they are at 7. South Point 6. Shelby 5. They all stay the same. Crest with their 3A win jumps over Bandy's by 1 point. So they've got 23, Bandy's 22. However, Crest loses this week and Bandy's wins. Bandy's is back in front of them. Kings Mountain is number 2 at 28, and Huss keeps flying around. 35 total points. Put it this way, they've got 7 more points than the next place team. Huss would have to lose this game and Kings Mountain win the state championship for Kings Mountain to have more points than them on the year. So that just tells you how good of a season Huss has had so far.
Fly, Kings Mountain, fly.
All right, real quick, guys. Your picks for y'all do real quick picks on the next 4 games that we got next Friday night for our broadcast. Terry, why go get ready for the commercials? Do you think you know those?
Who are we calling again?
Start with East and North.
Okay, East and North.
I gotta go
It's at North Lincoln. I'm taking North Lincoln.
Well, that and Coach Basil, like I say, it's his alma mater. If you want to beat anybody, it's the people it's where you went before. I mean, 42-6 in an 8-9 matchup.
Yeah.
North Lincoln looks good.
North Lincoln looks good.
Yeah, I got North
you got North Lincoln. Oh,
Ash County at Shelby.
Shelby,
no problem.
Shelby is rolling right now. They got something cooking.
Crest at Huss.
think Crest will score this time. It'll be a one-score game. I'm 21-14.
I'm going to take the upset in Crest.
Kings Mountain. Oh, Hunter. Kings Mountain and Statesville.
Kings Mountain. Statesville doesn't have enough on either side.
All right, today on KTC Broadcasting, Western Carolina at North Carolina. Philadelphia 76ers, you get Jimmy Butler coming to Charlotte tonight. Go on out to see the Hornets. Then we got
yell at some children.
The Ford EcoBoost 300 Xfinity race on WCSL 3 o'clock tomorrow. The Ford EcoBoost 400 from Homestead Miami Championship WCSL 1590 AM. Then we've got Carolina Panthers at Detroit Lions at noon. Pittsburgh and Jacksonville Sunday night football on KTC. We'll see you guys next week on Campers Inn RV of Kings Mountain Saturday Sports Talk. I want to thank Carson Dockery, Hunter Yancey, Terry Reinhardt, Tim Pruitt calling in as always. Tough luck on the loss as Cherryville moves on to basketball and wrestling with some of the other schools in the area. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hey guys, special Thanksgiving today celebration going on with Calvin and the gang over at Ronaldo Auto Mall. They don't have hot dogs today since it's Thanksgiving.
Is it turkey dogs?
It's turkey sandwiches from Subway.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Go out there and test drive. If you buy a car until I think Christmas, it may be over at Ronaldo. Maybe no, it's turkey. Sorry, Thanksgiving. If you buy Christmas right now, at Ronaldo, you get a free Thanksgiving turkey. So go to Ronaldo today, get you turkey sandwich to eat after you do your test drive and sit there and work on your numbers and get comfortable. Calvin and them will take care of you and jam with them. And then you take your turkey home to eat Thursday along with your brand new car and have one of the best Thanksgivings ever. Last night we had Nelson Royster and Matt Royster and Tom come in, turkey farmers up there. We had to thank them. I asked them, this is got to be your favorite holiday, right? They thanked everybody for buying the turkeys. Matt said go shoot a live one. That's the fun part is what he said. So that's for some of you hunters out there. Watch out for the deer and everything else. Calvin and the gang, Ronaldo Auto Mall. We'll be back next week on Campers Inn RV. Remember, Witherspoon Insurance next Friday, pregame show and the postgame show as well. We'll see you guys next week on the Campers Inn RV, KTC Broadcasting Saturday Sports Talk Show, Breakfast by Mitchum's Kitchen on KTCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to the big Thanksgiving Turkey Day sales event this Saturday, November 17th at Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby. With any purchase of